Good to see you, everyone. My name is Robbie Howell, and I am joined by two fine friends who helped us out a lot on the last Enclave day. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves, we will begin the actual play.
Hey, I'm Jonas Tindenzer. I am currently today I'm playing Aisuna, the Lithomancer.
Marvelous. And then,
Hi, I'm Xela. I am the community manager on the Enclave server. If you join us here, I will be messaging you. Keep
she's
an eye
very good
out.
at it. And a little more about your characters, beginning with Aisuna.
Aisuna is an 8 foot something gray-skinned, white-haired giantess. She is a Lithomancer, hailing from a land of craggy rocks and cliffs, who is hoping to find answers somewhere out in Manifold to cure the corruption that has taken her homeland. And in the meantime, that has amounted to a lot of very wacky Enclave missions that have forced her to dramatically lighten up from who she was as a person before joining Enclave.
Wow.
Her first mission was with Xela here, which I think is delightful. Xela was conduiting.
Mm-hmm.
Involved pretending to be demigods and getting ported to the god plane to tattletale on a tiger's mom that he was being bad. So
The
I,
gunslinger
I
didn't
wrote
gunsling, and I got stuck.
and I didn't break the stone that was there, to be fair, either. But it was my first mission with Ashuna, and I wrote down her traits as grim, retaliatory, and scheming, and that was what the mission ended up being. So she's lightened up a little, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's great.
I'll warn you, this one's kind of goofy as well, but I think it's going to be a serious goofy.
She's used to it now. It's all good.
Got it. And then let's hear about Lani.
I am playing Lani. She is a vessel. She tends to be overly friendly, putting it nicely. She was on an island for an extended period of time, definitely well over a century by herself. She is a demigod, but her deific aspect split because she went through some very bad things. So now she has what she refers to as the brain man living in her head. And she's a fan of the brain man. He is not a fan of having to do shit. Very grumpy. Um, so Lonnie's not super aware of the fact that she's magic. She just knows sometimes things happen and sometimes she forgets things. But it all works out in the end. uh, she is like 5'2", long honey blonde hair in gentle waves down her back. She's wearing a blue dress and a flower crown. And yep.
Marvelous. Uh, and with our characters introduced, let me tell you a bit about the freaking mission I have planned for you guys. The focus words that I got were Technicolor Lace and Trauma for Lani. How nice. And here's what I came up with for that. You are being sent to a dinner party. However, a dinner party that is being held in worship of a creature. It's certainly not a god. Demon might be closer. A powerful creature of manners and etiquette. This dinner party is an execution of a substantial number of individuals who have maybe angered this metaphysical being, maybe are just sacrifices, but they are being forced to stay at this table and eat course after course after course. If they stop, we'll see what happens in a moment, but if not, they are literally being forced to eat themselves to death. If any defy the manners and etiquette of the table, they are thrown into an oubliette. Do you guys both know what an oubliette is? An oubliette is a prison cell most famously used in medieval castles, which was a hole just big enough for a human to go into, and
Oh, and then you
nothing
wall it
else.
up.
Yeah, and then you wall it up. This is the hellscape that you guys are being brought into, and the dinner party is, of course, guarded by, we'll call them horrors of politeness, that are incredibly dangerous, but admittedly are fully perfectly obeisant to the manners that are imposed upon them by their great mistress. You guys are being sent in to find and rescue an individual named Joseph. He was one of the executionees who has been stuck into an oubliette. The oubliette is somewhere in the dining room. You don't know where. You must, 1, find Joseph, 2, rescue him, and 3, find a way, probably by bullying or brutalizing the person at the head of the table, the leader of the meal, not the metaphysical being herself, by the way, but one of her supplicants, to give him an official pardon. So again, find Joseph, free Joseph, get Joseph a pardon. That is all you need to do.
Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Among other things. The other things of note is that upon entering, as soon as you defy the manners and customs of this area, they will attempt to chuck you in an oubliette, and once inside, your powers will be disabled. You may not use your magic in an oubliette, and it will cut contact with Lani's entity.
Yes, 100%. Define magic, Robbie.
Anything that isn't based in a physical stat.
Okay, but you define any stat up 3+ to be magic.
Sure, but the stat itself has a physical basis. The supernatural accentuations to it.
We have discussed.
Yes, of course. So let me put it this way: someone with like 5 pluses to might would functionally only have 3 inside of the oubliette.
Right, makes sense. Suffering from success.
It neuters your magic, and so being put in an oubliette is devastatingly bad. And it is recommended by the Enclave that you try your best to follow manners until you cannot, and once you cannot, fight tooth and nail to not be put in an oubliette. Like, do everything you can.
Does the oubliette have to be entirely sealed for the magic to take hold, like the weird box the doctor gets put in?
It does need to be fully sealed.
Okay, it is the weird box rules with the silence. Got it.
One other note is that the location of the oubliettes are hidden throughout the dining room. Whenever someone is put in, the other guests are not guests, the people being executed, are not able to see what happens. They vanish from their vision. And as such, none of the other guests, I'm going to use a guess, right? It's the easiest term, will know where Joseph
There's implied air quotes.
is. Yeah. Other questions?
Is there some form of perhaps convenient instructional sign or a pamphlet containing a list of rules and etiquette, or is this something we'll have to discern? Okay, great.
Bingo. Yeah. As soon as you show up, even though you guys are completely unannounced and uninvited, the creatures of this land are not inclined to question such things, and they will give you a cue card.
It's rude to question a guest.
Precisely, yes. You are getting it already.
It takes a while to eat yourself to death unless you are doing like hot dog style competitions.
This is a hot dog style competition.
So they have to be eaten quickly.
Yes.
Why are they eating quickly? That is rude.
It is quickly by the standards of someone who has already been eating for hours on end. They're expected to take regular bites at regular intervals without any pause.
Okay, but so how long has this been going on? How close to death is everybody?
About 4.5 hours. So you can anywhere from like a couple hours to several hours away. It's going to be going on for a little while. Ideally, your mission will not take anywhere close to that long.
Right. This is an extended ritual killing.
Oh, one more time?
How much air is in the oubliette?
The oubliettes, it's not even known if they have or need air. Again, you can think of this almost in a non-mortal dimension sort of manner. It is a slightly metaphysical realm, or somewhere between mortal and metaphysical. And as such, some conventional laws, such as needing air, may not apply. That is actually not known, though. And so exactly how long it will take for Joseph to bite it is also not known. What is known, however, is that even if Joseph doesn't die, being in this oubliette will drive someone mad. And if Joseph is completely gone by the time you get to him, no good.
Any since we were told to fight like hell to prevent being put in oubliette, I assume no notes on collateral damage, other guests, anything like that.
Any amount of collateral damage is acceptable, with the implicit understanding that collateral damage is very impolite.
Sure, but if we're at that point, we've already broken rules,
Yes.
probably.
But also, demon is big fuck off will insta kill.
You would have to get wildly out of line in order for the demon herself to get involved. But her lieutenants will ramp up in intensity the more you break rules. Like if you're just doing a little bit, you probably are going to get grabbed by a single guard, which is actually still kind of a big deal. Her guards are scary. But if you keep causing serious problems, they are going to become more and more intensive. Oh, one thing I should note. Metaphysical realm, yes. Strange, eerie, esoteric magics, yes. They are not omnipotent, nor are they omniscient. It is possible to sneakily break rules.
Got it. That answers my next question, because
normal policy about rules. All rules are rules so long as all rules are followed if you don't get caught.
Right.
That's how rules work.
I was going to ask about if we broke the one little rule and a guard comes to get us, then we like not going with the guard would be breaking more rules. But if we can get away from them stealthily or deal with them stealthily, then we might be fine.
Yes.
It's not like a GTA star system where everything you do just keeps scaling up.
Precisely. It would only keep scaling up if you kept escalating and it was if it was obvious, you know what I mean? I should also note, by the way, that the guards themselves are not human. The guests are all human.
Right.
They're being executed, sacrificed, whatever it is. The guards are not.
The horrors of politeness.
What are the guards? Physical description? Or will we just get it when we get there?
Wildly variable. I'll give it to you when it comes up.
Bet. I'm good to go.
Nice. Any other questions from you, John?
What is the construction of the building? Well, I guess I'll see that when we get there too. Never mind. Well, let's go.
In that case, let's move on to assembly. Your characters meeting each other in Enclave HQ. We've gotten physical descriptions already, which is fantastic. So I would say as the two of you would enter the beautiful Enclave assembly room, neat and gray and stocked with whatever you might want before a mission, first actions upon entering, let's begin with Aisuna.
Aisuna is always in here too. She's like adjusting all her leathers and sashes. She's tying and retying knots on the many ropes that wrap around her. And I don't think I think every time she enters assembly, she like goes for a different kind of snack because she hasn't found one she really likes yet.
Sure.
So today, let's say shrimp puffs. Is she's thinking real seafoody, and she goes in and just like, ooh.
Don't mind if I do. Marvelous. And Lani, actions from you entering the room and seeing Aisuna snacking.
Lani gets there and she starts having a motherfucking meltdown. She's like, Brayman, we get there early. What are you doing? You're supposed to make sure I get there early. No, you know it's important. She looks at the attendants and is like, what? Why? I get here early on purpose. You guys are supposed to tell me these things. And then she looks to Aisuna and goes, I am so sorry. I always make sure there's snacks. And she just like looks to the table and just candy floods the table because she's flipping the fuck out. Just like a candy store's worth of candy just generates onto the table, helped by her brain man's arcane stat. He's like, calm the fuck down, Lani.
It's okay. I'm usually late, so this is new for me as well.
Lani goes to the table and is like, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You're so pretty. You're tall. Okay, there's candy though. Please have some candy. The candy's really good.
Thank you. I'll try one, but you should know it's not good to load up on sugar before a mission because then you crash and it's just. Oof.
I don't think I've ever.
But
done
she
that.
will take it. She will take one like a just any like various kinds of candy of all shapes and sizes.
It is like Lani basically teleported the entire contents of a candy store, so there's just stuff currently rolling onto the ground.
Got it. She'll grab just like a pretty big jawbreaker, which because she is 8 feet tall is like,
Crunch.
you know, not that big a deal. And she's going, hmm,
Yeah, Lani normally spends a lot of time making like elaborate displays of candy, but she was panicking, so it was just all the candy.
The trauma for Lani begins.
That's, it's good. I'll save the rest for once we finish the mission, I think.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm always early. This is not going according to plan, and it's a politeness mission, and this was so rude of me. Oh, Lani, get it together.
Yeah, I'm a little, I mean, I know Enclave always picks its agents for a reason, so I'm expecting that my skills will be of use, but I confess this would not have been first on the docket for my personal understanding of my skill set. So I'm going to be counting on you to kind of take the talking angle, I think, at least until we get our footing in.
I think I'm good at making friends. Sometimes people tell me I'm a lot, but I think they're just not enough.
I think you are a lot proportional to your size. If you were my height, it would be about normal. Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
It's good. It's compact. It's efficient.
Yeah. Lani seems very pleased with this.
All right.
As the two of you come to this point, the Enclave attendant in the room turns on a heel and strides from the door, and the two telepads spring to life. Final actions you would like to take in assembly.
Lani looks around and says, "Okay, we can do this." And then she starts walking, trying not to think of the very, very strange dark rooms that she might get thrown into.
Sure. Looks toward the telepad, takes a step, looks back at the table, turns that table, takes another jawbreaker, gets on telepad.
And as the two of you do so, you feel your bodies dissociate. The tingling beginning at the soles of your feet, climbing up your legs and leaving them asleep, passing your stomach and leaving your guts to churn, passing your chest and leaving your heart to flutter, after which you can no longer feel its beat. It then passes your eyes, and your vision explodes into ribbons of thin color. There's a buzzing in your ears, the world falls away, and there is nothing. And as quickly as the sensation comes, it leaves. Though for a moment it feels as though you are still teleporting. Even though you are looking into a room, and it's a room that looks as though you would expect a room to look, there are subtly wrong things about it. Everything feels subtly wrong. The smell is wrong, not like a smell you've ever smelled. There's kind of an ambient hum to the room, as though there were a tone just outside of your, hearing range that just kind of plagues your inner ear.
The sound of the lights.
Something like that, but just...
The fluorescent light sound, or like when you're in a building and there are all the machines going.
But it doesn't sound like a machine. Like that idea, but untraceable and unidentifiable. Yeah. Exactly. Gravity feels ever so slightly different. Everything is just off. But the room that you're looking into is, on its surface, quite beautiful. The first thing that you would notice, and that Aisuna would notice particularly, is that everything here, all the tables, all the chairs, the floor, the walls, everything is made of porcelain. Beautiful porcelain, intricately inlaid. And the second thing that you would notice is while it is big, it's a nice dining room, it's not massive. It's not like a hotel dining room. It's like a mansion's great dining room. Huge chandeliers hanging. There's a little stage off to one side with closed curtains. There's a bunch of gigantic ornamental urns and teapots everywhere. There are light fixtures, there are paintings, and also there are people at the table, none of whom look, though possibly they want to. Lani would probably pick out. That said, kind of like an AI generated image, there are just things that stick out in weird places. The table isn't right. The light fixtures look like they're trying to be a hand at the same time. The teapots have multiple spouts where they shouldn't. Again, subtly wrong, but a riot of color and quite pretty for what it is. There is also an absolutely ungodly amount of food on the table, and not a speck of it spilled. The other thing you would notice as you poured in is that there are a few people in the room who are not, say people, a few beings in the room who are not at the table. You notice, for example, off to the side, you know those little like trolleys, the little server trolleys? You notice one of those with whose like handle extends into a body that is wheeling it. It is wheeling itself. And the trolley seems to have face like a face, whereas the body that's rolling it does not. Again, eerie, subtly different, but a
Body
riot
horror,
of color.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but that's a very good way of putting it. Another example is that so you have that off to one side. You also have a like kind of hunched, almost dog-like figure with a body made of brooms that is busily going around sweeping up every little crumb of dust. And lastly, near to you, you see a very elegant kind of hourglass-shaped being made of folding fans, whose arms kind of crook at a side, like hang with fan-like accordion folds in between, and whose head is kind of a little tapering two-dimensional wedge. Again, everything decorated, intricate, pretty, beautifully colored, like a dollhouse that was AI generated, turned into a 3D print, and lovingly painted. Before we go further, immediate actions. We will begin with Lani.
Lani looks around, very much horrified. She was on an island, and it was just like a fucking island. Everything was natural in the way it should be.
Yeah.
And like Lani hasn't really interacted with technology, things generating just like with the wrongness. Lani has no interaction with the uncanny valley.
Yep.
Has not occurred for Lani. So Lani is very taken aback by the wrongness. And just mentally, she doesn't really do anything with the brain man. She just takes a small step towards him. Like, not letting him take over, but mentally kind of inching towards him a little
Huddling
bit for
for
the
warmth.
comfort that he's always
Yes.
given. Yeah. More like when you reach out and touch your comfort person to make sure that they are just there.
Quite. Yeah. While she is doing so and just kind of staring into the room, Aisuna, actions.
Well, I hate to stall our progress, but I think Ashuna's doing quite similar. She has been in many various settings at this point, various technology levels, and yet still these missions find ways to surprise her. I think sensing or seeing that everything is porcelain, which I know is typically made from things from the earth, but may not function the same. Aisuna will, as soon as we can, are we standing, sitting?
You're standing.
Are we just like at one side of the table? Okay. She'll just kind of gently tap one foot, sort of in a nonchalant manner, as if waiting for like a waiter to come and seat us.
Yeah.
And see if she can tremor sense anything, just in a small,
Certainly.
very small radius.
The tremor sense is immediately effective. The way I would describe it is, have you ever like whispered and then your whisper was way louder than it should be because of an echo? You know,
Sure.
It's that sensation. The tremor sense is very effective, but is very echoey, if that makes sense. Like you get
Got
a
it.
good sense, but it's kind of disorienting. Much in the same way that the rest of this place is disorienting, but undeniably usable.
Okay. I think that makes Ashuna a little bit more comfortable. So she will, having tapped her feet a little bit, she'll either wait for a server to approach or check to see if we've been magically slipped a cue card anywhere.
Well, the sound of her foot tap seems to have set something off, and she would see a bobbing little figure, kind of almost materializing out of the corner of their eye. There's no door in this room, by the way. Obviously, they wouldn't let people out, but that it seems as though the horrors don't need such things, because she would see it almost looks like one of those little bobblehead dolls that you see on dashboards, except put together much more like an American Girl doll, though proportioned very awkwardly and without a face, but instead in a single enormous watermelon slice of a mouth, and no other facial features whatsoever, with the mouth extending well off of the head. And as this strange thing kind of saunters up with a big creepy smile over its face, it would gesture out and offer the two of you each a cue card. It's small, like no bigger than like a flyer, you know what I mean? And would say its huge mouth kind of opening like over accentually as it says so. Welcome. Please have a seat.
I look to Lani.
Lani takes the cue card and reads it, like very close to her face, trying to kind of block out the weird bobblehead big mouth thing with
Yep.
the cue card while she reads it.
Something that Lani would notice. First of all, it's in beautiful font. It's very neat. It's very well laid out. It has her name on it. It has her place number already mapped out. It has polite greetings, and then it has a list of rules. But she notices that as she reads the rules, there keep being more. And the cue card does not change in length. It's just as though there were still like a scroll bar, an invisible scroll bar, were just showing more to her eyes.
Lani, remembering that this is a manners thing, would say, "Thank you."
And
Thank you.
The great bobblehead would give another enormous smile and say, "It is a pleasure having you here. Enjoy your meal." And she would sway away.
What are the rules?
I think there's too many to explain.
What are the rules that I wouldn't know as Xela?
Now, this is the way I will summarize this from everything Lani is reading. Imagine, if you will, like using real life experience, the most stereotyped, over accentuated, hyper fixated Victorian sort of like mannerly manual. Taken to 11. The sort of thing, everything from no elbows on the table to don't make noise when you chew. That's every single like token act of over specific politeness. That is what
is it deviated by gender?
That's an excellent question, and the answer is no. Imagine everything that a Victorian gentleman would be expected to do, and everything that a Victorian lady would be expected to do, put together and applied universally.
Then who pulls out the chair?
Pardon?
What? Sitting down.
Sitting down, who pulls out the chair?
How do you chair?
That's an excellent question.
Chair?
As Lani is looking at the list, it would be as though that rule like sprung to the forefront from it. And the answer is, in order to request a chair, stand by your chair and ask politely. And there is then a sub-bullet of how to ask politely, and it's as you'd expect.
Aisuna looks down at her like leathers and sashes and climbing gear and pants and is like, do I bow and curtsy? I'm not sure.
The answer, according to the rules, is to do both, by the way.
Yeah, to do okay. Yeah, so she's like, I've never. Okay. Do we see the table? I assume is full of guests. Oh, yeah. Do we see open slots, or shall we? If we approach the table, will a slot open itself?
As Aisuna is looking, the table like kind of awkwardly blooms extra spots.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, they have a consistent modus operandi here. I guess we should sit.
Lani shakes her head. I am not hungry presently, and it would be rude not to eat. So, I think I will offer my assistance, as that is polite as well.
That's a good idea. I think that you should pursue that avenue. I will take a seat as instructed and attempt to glean some information from our fellow dinner guests.
Okay, don't die.
I wouldn't plan to, but it can happen.
And as Aisuna says this, will they move over to the table and stand next to a chair?
Yeah, she'll stand over the chair. Hello, could I please have a chair, please, to sit at, please?
And you would see that
bow curtsy.
The chair itself would curtsy to you. You realize that it too is a horror itself, and kind of scoots backwards.
Oh no!
And kind of politely moves out of the way and gives you license to sit.
I hate that so much. Sits on the chair, curtsies to it, and bows to it, and tips her cap that she's not wearing, and sits in and scooches forward without scraping the chair on the ground.
Bingo. Yep.
Um, just lightly.
I should note that as Aisuna sits down, you would see that that strange fan creature, the hourglass shaped one at the front of kind of near where you guys first entered, would actually, with its 2-dimensional fan head, give Aisuna an approving nod.
just key and peel sweating, just dabbing with handkerchief.
Yeah, and immediately your plate would scooch itself across the table and begin serving itself a portion.
And Shuna, she's a big girl. She'll just start eating slowly.
Oh yes,
And for she has to continually, she props up the card on like a dish so that she can read the eating instructions about like which utensils and how to eat and things, because that is completely foreign to her.
Oh yeah, but slowly, patiently, calmly, she proceeds, and the first thing that she would notice is the moment she feels a bite of food under her mouth, she hears it softly scream as it is being swallowed.
I have made a mistake. I have made a severe mistake.
I have paid Lani enough.
However, that said, Lani, you would also see that fan-headed creature, after it kind of gives Aisuna a nod, it would saunter over towards Lani with this kind of like stick insect-like gait. It almost, think of it almost moving like a runway model as it strides towards her. But as it does so, it takes what looks like a small sticky note and puts it on the shoulder of a nearby guest who winces and tenses up. You can see that this guest already has 2 sticky notes on her shoulder, and many other guests have anywhere from 1 to 4.
Lani bow curtsies and says, "Apologies, miss. It is my monthly time, and I cannot. I am ill with the nausea of the. So I do not want to be rude and refuse your food. Might I offer my assistance to you in this event?"
You see that it takes kind of like a posture, as though showing itself thinking. And rather than responding, it takes the sticky note and puts it clean on Lani's forehead. 1, 2, 3. However, after it does so, it would kind of sweep its fan arm off to the side, and you would see the sweeper kind of like quadruped comes like shuffling over, and would kind of like nose its great sweeping head and would kind of shove over towards Lani a hand brush for the ground.
Lani like bow curtsies and takes it and says, "Thank you so much," and like, thank you kindly."
And the fan creature saunters back to the head of the table, where it continues to hawk-like monitor the guests.
Lani's going to start sweep brushing the edges of the room, doing the baseboards.
As she does so, she feels the sweeper brush in her hand going,
Lani's going to spirit comfort the sweeper brush.
And as
with
she's
her
doing,
3 spirit.
Yeah, but as she's doing so, she hears it saying, "Make it stop. Make it stop."
But Lani can't, so she just sings lullabies to it in her head, like little child songs. Yep. like Lani's just ring around the rosy, like very creepy horror movie. But Lani did this to herself, and it's just.
And as she is making her way along the baseboards, my main question.
She's listening.
Yeah, that's a good note. My main question is this: Lani has what will stat again?
1.
1? Okay. In that case, I can imagine that given how awful this place is in every way and shape or form to her, she is fighting panic. Could you talk me through panic? That?
I actually think she's going to her ritual knife is usually the thing she stims with. It's like it is a thing that she will do patterns with to calm herself down. So I think she will pull it out to like get like gunk off the baseboards and like be going at the baseboards and like really like getting the little bit of grime in the corner and like at the top where it's like it just collects over time, and she's just going in and cleaning the baseboards like with the scrub brush and with the
Yeah,
ritual
the
knife.
fine tooth comb brought to a whole new level. Now,
Oh,
as
legit, she's just like, I can only do this singular task. I am listening and doing this, and that's all
yep,
I have the capacity to do. I
uh,
am not making eye contact. I am hearing nothing. I am singing my song in my head.
as Lani is doing so, Ashuna would be eating, and in so doing, also be able to get a sense of the people around the table. It is grim, like wildly grim. People are, in some cases, literally shaking because of their bodies rejecting this. It is torture in its purest form, and any sign of even the slightest like major flinch or anything like that, sticky note is put on them. Actions Aishuna would like to take.
Ashuna's gonna observe, and I have a couple. Right. I mean, I think she is definitely incredibly uncomfortable, but it's more about the just like general weirdness and uncertainty of what she might do wrong because she's not used to the politeness than like
Indeed.
the specific kind of offness about the room because that's something she's not, I wouldn't say used to, but like
She's
at
from
least
a
more familiar
land of
with.
corruption, you said, yes?
Right, like she's actually, yeah, actually that's a great point. I wasn't even thinking of that, but that's an excellent point. She actually might be like obviously not feeling at home, but she's like I know this game. Like
Yeah.
um big magical being
Unspeakable
toys with
evil,
things for its
etc.,
even.
etc. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What's her will, just so
So
I have an idea of it?
it's also one.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
went
remember.
wide on stats and not tall,
Of course, no, I think
but
that's great. I was looking up
uh
that build earlier.
so yeah, so she's uncomfortable, but I think not so much on the verge of panic, but more so on the verge of like upending the table and just fighting everything.
Yeah, exactly.
um so she's at least for now, like I think she is taking to it better than Lani. I think she is, I mean, like I said, she's a big girl. She could eat, so she at least feels like she has some time to
Oh, she does.
just kind of be patient and gather intel.
Yep. What's she
So
looking
she'll
for?
just, the first thing that she's going to do is she's going to uh as just between bites and as the people next to her between bites, she'll just lean over and be like, "So, what's your name? You know a guy named Joseph?" And they will presumably be very much more off put by this than she is, but
Yep,
she's
quite. And as Aijana asked this first question, the man next to her would tense up and give kind of the teeniest little head shake as Aishuna feels a sticky note put on her shoulder.
oh wow, okay, that was fast.
Uh,
She'll go
the
back to eating.
the man, however, with his eyes straight ahead, says, "Good afternoon to you. My name is Morley. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm very glad that you can join us on this fine day with all of this fine food put up at the great expense of our all benevolent host."
Yeah, I concur.
Yes,
What a nice dinner this is. There is so much food, and it's so edible.
very, most edible. I feel as though I've eaten so much I could explode, he says in the most loaded terms possible, but he follows up with, "It is a shame so many have been so disrespectful." And he gives kind of a pregnant pause after this.
Yeah. Yes. It would be, and it's like she's reading off the cue card
Yeah,
partially as she's
exactly.
checking every other line for like what honorifics and stuff to use.
Yep.
It would be unthinkable to me to disrespect someone who even owned so much food, let alone was gracious enough to share it.
Oh,
And
yes.
if I was to do so, then they should throw me in a pit, the location of which I wouldn't know.
No, none of us would know. You see that he says this, you see like a little swallow in his throat as he goes to take, before he takes his next bite. And after processing the next bite, he would say slowly, I would never dream of doing such a thing myself, and I'm very glad that we are aligned in this regard. Anyone so foolish as to do so would be fully justified in the wrath enacted upon them by the event bouncers.
Right. Very well aligned and justified with the rules set upon us. And Aisuna will like give him a little light nod and just like allow him to return to his meal,
He says,
not wanting to get him in trouble.
may I extend to you a token of welcome?
Oh, yes, of course. And forgive me for my impoliteness. I realize I did not give you my name. It's and she thinks about giving a fake name, and then a rule pops up that says, "Introduce yourself by your real name."
Yes, exactly.
Aisuna, pleasure to meet you. What token might I be so grateful to receive?
Here, Aisuna, this, and you see him like take out a little slip of paper and write on it. This is a welcoming letter that extends to you my utmost sincere uh, good wishes and a hope that we might be good acquaintances going forwards. And he passes you the note. His hand is trembling. And he turns back
note.
and he goes back to eating slowly. Though you can see that he has this awful pallid tone to his skin.
I take the note and I will excited to receive information of any kind, even if it is just a welcoming letter, which she is kind of expecting it to be. Um, Ashuna will take the note and gently kind of set it down next to her cue card.
Yep.
So that she can sort of eye both at once and continue eating.
Yep. A thing of note, by the way, is Aisuna realizes that even though the note was only just past you, the man Morley seems to have actually been composing it for a while. Given that it seems to actually be rather long, and he only wrote like a sentence or two at the very end.
Got it.
And it does seem as though guests are entitled to do things like writing notes. For example, you see another lady a little ways down the table writes something on like a little ornate piece of stationery with little flowers and hearts on it, and then passes it behind her, and you can see that one of the ceramic inlay designs reaches up from the ground like a hand and plucks it and brings it back down into the ground. So that it seems as though it's a way to both communicate with the staff, but also it's more polite than talking like aloud at length, you know.
Of course, and certainly not talking with your mouth full.
No, God, no. That is a fate worse than death. Speaking of a fate worse than death, Lani.
Lani has digressed to just ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Over and over and over.
Yep.
Just that line in her brain. Brain Man has now taken like a full step towards her. She's not in Embrace the Darkness, but he is very concerned.
Of note, the brush has stopped moaning. It may be being comforted.
Lani has not noticed. She is panicking.
Yes.
Brain Man noticed. Lani does not notice.
What will Lani be doing from here? Out of the corner of her mind, she can process Aishuna's conversation.
Brain Man uses Insidious Whispers to give Lani information because he is concerned and does not want to have to take over because fuck that shit. So he's going to do what he can without having to do that because he, A, wants Lani to be more independent because he doesn't like having to do shit.
Yep.
And B, he's there for Lani, so her being more independent serves his function.
Yep.
But he's also like, I fucking know I'm gonna have to do shit later, so I'm gonna hold back until it gets to that point.
Absolutely.
But he is going to Insidious Whispers to Lani, Lani doesn't initiate this one. Brain Man initiates this one.
Quite. What is going to be the topic that you're doing an Insidious Whispers on?
Brain Man wants to tell her where the door is. I want him to have figured this out. She has 5 arcane. He's looking for a lack of magic.
Are you looking for
On
the
the room's
door out
perimeter.
of the room or the door to an
No,
oubliette?
he's looking for where the sealed things are.
Aha.
And
Yep.
yeah, and I think like Brain Man has fucked arcane. Lonnie has 5 arcane just so he can do some of his shit. Um, so I think Brain Man would have looked not for magic but for a lack of magic.
Yep. Absolutely.
Uh,
And the answer would be as such. He's here in this room. You know this. Focus. Teapots. Look for the teapots. The big and the little, there's something between them.
Lonnie actually calms down a little bit hearing Brain Man's voice
Yep.
because he's always been there. Like he has always been a grounding force in her mind.
Yep.
That's what he's for. Um so like she takes like a shuddering breath as she's still like softly just like now just humming like mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Other
Still
actions
rocking slightly in her brushing
Yes, I
and
was going to say
scraping.
the rocking is very in character for her. I've seen her do that before even. Um, Other actions she would like to take from here.
She as she takes like one final breath, doing one more repetition, she starts to look around for the teapots. As she's now like she paused her scraping with the knife to not nick things because that would be rude,
Oh
but is
yes.
still brushing and has switched to the floor in front of her.
Yep.
Because baseboards take more fine tuning and focus on the baseboards. So she's now doing the floor and
And
just
she's
going
still
back and
humming
forth
in
on
her
the
mind,
floor.
right?
Oh, 100. That
Yeah.
has not ended. She is basically doing the equivalent of a storm brewing. She just doesn't have storm brewing.
Now, something she would note: there are like those big ornamental vases that you see in some like rich houses. This room has a bunch of them. They're at regular intervals along the walls, and all of them are teapots. They also have teapots on the main table. So they have, I mean, they're huge for teapots, but they're like more person sized, whereas the ones along the walls are enormous. Um, as in, like comfortably could fit a person in their size, which I'm sure is somewhere that Lani is kind of like getting to with her own. I'm guessing that's where her mind is going to some degree. Now, something that she would also note is that the table has an excessive number of teapots. There's like 10 of them. And similarly, the teapots are also slowly, kind of daintily tiptoeing along the table, pouring more drinks for people at regular intervals.
I actually want Lani to, for the first time ever, use her own arcane.
Oh, God.
I
Terrifying.
want no Lonnie is just so nervous and she knows Brain Man can do it, so she's going to reach out with the magic to feel if the little teapots can become the big teapots.
And what's going to be her
But
paired action for doing so?
she she she's scrubbing the floor and doing it, and she's thinking of like watching animals grow up, like the little turtles, seeing them grow from like when she sees them hatch on the beach at night
Mm,
and then seeing
that's
them
cute.
come back as like these giant turtles to lay eggs later, like a
Yeah.
few years later, and knowing that they're the same turtle.
Okay. Knowing that they're the same turtle is an interesting one. Because as she's looking at the teapots, kind of looking between them, with this like arcane manifestation playing about her, there is absolutely a link between them, but it doesn't seem like they can become the big teapots. At her best guess, it seems like they are the big teapots. That's the same thing in two different places. And this would come to her not in the sense of like the her in her turtle analogy. It would be like when you're under the water, and a sea turtle is swimming in the water and it casts the shadow of a very big turtle.
I love that. Love that for
Sick.
Lonnie.
Very cool.
Uh,
Lonnie nods to herself and goes back to like, doing the baseboards, and she actually moves over to one of the big teapots and starts to like I'm gonna use this like sweepy brush as like almost like a deck brush.
yep.
Um and she's going to start like She's going to actually look over for the sweepy guy.
Yep.
No, no, no. Lani is going to cut off a piece of her ceremonial raiment with her ritual knife and start to use it to polish it, changing the religious intonation to make it a thing of the cleaning and politeness.
That's really cool, actually. I like that idea
Yeah.
a lot, actually.
And with the ritual knife, it just helps imbue the manifestation because she's just been cleaning with the knife. So the knife has all this magic of cleaning.
As she she has to set aside the brush for a moment to
Oh yeah, she puts down the brush and cuts off like a large, like her dress goes like past her knee, like mid shin. So she cuts it probably to right above her knee, so it's a good amount of cloth, and she actually cuts like multiple, like she cuts like multiple little squares.
Nice. As she's doing so, by the way, she hears the brush humming ashes, ashes, but like the.
Lani would actually get like a soft smile at this, of like, it would kind of like reinforce it because she does have to pause her humming to think of this.
But as she is smiling and kind of looking at it for a second, she hears a soft click, click, click along the floor, and the brush is plucked from the ground with a little yelp. The fan creature has taken it up, looks at it. You hear the brush beg, and then the fan creature crushes it. And it turns into a dribble of thin polish that goes down and causes her metal parts to shine. She cleans herself politely, and then would snap her, instead of snap her fingers, she like clicks her fan together to make a finger snap sound, and the brush quadruped would produce another brush and kind of scoot it towards Lani.
Lani would not make eye contact because she's in a service role, so that would be rude. So she would just looking at the ground, having her squares of cloth, be like, "Might I have some polish for the vases to make them shine?"
And immediately, you would see, despite your lower service rank, the fan creature does kind of like a polite little mini curtsy, and would immediately dribble onto the ground some of the bits of the brush now as a polish, and the ground actually produces a little bowl to catch them, with one of its like the ground's polished inlay circles rising up to make like a little catcher.
Lani would nod and say, "Thank you kindly."
And turning the click, click, click of the fan creature.
Does Lani get
as
one
it
of the
struts
post-its
back.
removed from her forehead?
Excellent question. The answer is no.
Fine.
Excellent question, though.
Lani has not moved the fucking post-its.
Oh no,
away.
of course not. That would be a terrible.
You can never
idea.
truly scrub yourself clean.
Now,
You can never scrub yourself clean of your sins.
as this is happening at the same time, Aisuna, at the table, between a few bites, you are visited by a teapot for the first time, kind of sauntering over on its like, its big bellied gait as it pours you out some drink. And it's at this point that Aisuna would notice something as well. The people are treating the teapot like a firing squad. They are terrified of the teapot. And she would quickly put together why, because bladder capacity is much smaller than stomach capacity.
Right. Makes sense. Aisuna had a different thought in sort of in the same direction as Lani's earlier, but we will have to take things in order. She would be taking the time to. So I mean, she notes the teapots are a threat in that way, but otherwise it's just like, oh, walking teapot, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So she'll
Creepy walking teapot.
She's still like, I think Aisuna just truly like hasn't understood yet how horrifying this place is.
Yep.
Like
That's
the
kind of
ritual
good.
execution. Yeah, it's sort of like in Call of Cthulhu where like being dumb actually is good because it means you don't understand the horrors you're seeing. Like
Yes.
the ritual execution is obviously bad and that's like doesn't appeal to her, but she's just kind of not like she doesn't have enough context to understand why this is so freaky.
Quite.
So I think she's like cool teapot. She'll try and while Lani is using insidious whispers and dealing with the fan creature and all this, she's trying to read the letter Morley wrote before doing anything else.
Yep. Uh, and the letter you can see is as you might expect, dear sir or madam or other, and it's this like broad form letter of blah 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 blah, formal, yada yada yada. But as you're reading it, Morley would say, I am terribly sorry, Aisuna. My writing is somewhat spidery. If you hold it up to a candle, you might be able to see it better.
Are there many candles spaced
Oh, yeah.
on the table?
There's little candelabras about, and they're all like kind of waving and bobbing gently.
Are they screaming?
Aisuna can't hear them, but probably, considering it's this place.
I think Ashuna is still like she's seeing from the writing and the little like polite conversation that there's some things that seem to slip by, but even with the rules card, I think she is expecting that like literally any motion could get her an infraction. So she will attempt to hold the letter up, but she's gonna kind of in her large hand, like sort of try and do. Now she doesn't have very good skill or reflex, so she's not being like particularly sleight of handy about it, but just using the overall motion of like politely reaching for to get a serving of another food or something, or to refill her glass with tea or water or whatever, to in that motion try and like hold it to a candle and quickly scan, be like,
Yep.
And then pull back.
You know how when you've gotten water on a page and it's like not quite dry yet, when you hold it up to light, it makes it a lot clearer where that is. He's written a second message in water.
Cool.
And holding it up, you can catch like a glimpse of it.
When she'll pull back and then continue eating and drinking for another minute or two, and then now that she knows like where on the paper to look, she'll be a little bit more brazen about it, and still try and like mimic the motion, but she'll just kind of like hold it to the just more openly holding it to be like
Yep.
before pulling back.
And you can see that in much more blocky letters, given that he's not writing with a pen, he's writing with, maybe water on a finger or something. It is what you might expect. Help, please help. We are all dead. We are all dead and doomed and gone. Anything you can do to help, please. Anything you can do. If you can pass me a note of this nature, perhaps we can coordinate. Please help me. Please help me. And then it gets cut off by your hand.
I mean, Ashuna doesn't love that, but it's not the mission. So
Quite.
she like, anything we can do, sure, but she'll just kind of like fold it down, place it and tuck it underneath her cue card for now. And she'll give Worley a look intended to communicate I don't know, something, but like not to say like we got it, but just give him a look like resolute, like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to confirm I'm doing what you want, but I am doing something.
Absolutely.
And then her next objective in terms of intel was then to look around the room, including especially the not specifically the teapots and things because she doesn't know, but like she was going to look specifically at the ornamentation in general. So not specifically the structure of the room, but the layout of the decorations and everything, and the table and the chairs.
Oh yeah.
And the patterns of the porcelain, and see if she could discern any type of pattern to the like. Does this thing on the wall match something on the table? Is there any kind of like coordination to the way things are laid out that might give a clue to these locations?
Yep, absolutely. So first thing of note is that, as you might expect, the drinking rules here are, the pinky finger in the air and everything of that nature. Because of that, you also would notice, looking around, that the pinky finger seems to be something of the symbol of this mighty being. it is woven into every element of the architecture. It is woven into the designs of the teapots and similar. But also, looking about at patterns and connections of this nature, Aisuna would also notice that the teapots, the huge kind of like Aisuna-sized teapots that line the walls at regular intervals like statuary, are directly correlated to teapots on the table. Each one matches up to another one with the same color pattern and the same kind of weird spout proportions. Another thing Aisuna would discern, huge vaulted ceiling, as you might expect, with like kind of big stones or ceramic support beams kind of balustrading it in these great big kind of whalebone-like arches, for want of a better term. But the ceiling up high above is kind of an indeterminate size. Like, when you look up, it's taller than when you're just looking straight ahead and catch it out of your peripherals. And the chandeliers hanging down from it, also ceramic for the most part, match up with the teapots. There are as many teapots on the table as there are chandeliers, as there are teapots along the walls.
Interesting. That part I didn't expect. Okay. I'm not sure how much more Aisuna can do from where she is without being able to coordinate with Lani somehow.
Yeah. Well, something that,
so
that would come in at this point as well is there is something else that as Aisuna is looking around, since now that she and Lani is caught up, I can add to. Is you would hear a small commotion down the table, small one, as you hear a person twitch and retch. There's like a shudder that goes up the table, and people put down their forks. That is a rule, by the way. Do not eat when someone has vomited. It shows up on your cue card. And immediately, the tension in the air changes. Given that your dishes and food are sentient, you hear kind of a, ooh, someone's in trouble, sort of like vibe go up from like all of the small minor accoutrements in the room. And you also hear the sound of clicking, regimented footsteps as great porcelain toy soldiers start marching into the room. Two of them. They have kind of like, it's not like quite a beefeater sort of outfit, right? But it's clearly aping that same style. They also have rifles, which it turns out are champagne bottle pop guns that they have kind of slung over their shoulders. And as they kind of march down the table, you see that they're flanked by the fan, we'll call it the maitre d', right? That's kind of what it is. Who kind of follows behind them and has like a small troop of cleaning horrors that are now following as well.
Y'all think Lani is aware of this? You are delusional.
Yeah, I think Aisuna. Can Aisuna see Lani from where she's sitting?
Yes.
Lani is currently locked the fuck in on this teapot.
Right. Yeah.
She has changed her song though because the old song was retired in memoriam of her brush. Her new song is her new song is I don't care if I go crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 change. Crazy go I if you don't die. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 change. I don't care if I go crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 change.
That's great.
Over.
I'm going to try and looking at my gear and abilities. I don't think there's anything I can do that would make it easier to communicate stealthily. So I'm just going to attempt to use this opportunity of someone being taken to get Lani's attention somehow. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to come up with something on the spot because I'm such a good improviser. I'm going to take my, you know what? I think I've been doing a lot of clever rules following up to this point that, Aisuna doesn't really grasp. I think I've gotten away with enough at this point. So I think Aisuna just seeing them not looking and remembering what we were told, just stealthily, she's just going to ball up that letter.
Yep.
Into a tiny little spitball. And I guess, would there be a straw in any of the glasses or anything?
No straw, unfortunately, because slurping out of a straw is not very polite, but...
Pretty polite and rude, yeah. Okay, so just into a ball then, and she will attempt to fling it at Lani.
Does Aisuna have spirit?
I have one spirit.
I don't know. Lonnie's
Nope,
not
I don't have
like
any
a.
spirit. I lied, actually.
Lonnie's like pretty much in an altered state that isn't embrace the darkness. So
I do not think Aisuna would be able to pick that up based on her
okay,
action.
No,
cool.
Ashuna is not a people person.
I just checking.
Think, and flicking the little spitball over your wing. Something of note is that when the spitball lands, Lani would not notice it landing, but would notice the little sweeper guy kind of like scooting over towards it, and you would see the sweeper like. Normally, it's pretty diligent about what it's doing, but this is like a. It goes over and it's like kind of prodding at something. It would scoot over towards you, and it would give like a little, kind of little bob, and it would like nose your hand.
My hand.
Yep.
Lonnie would like very much jar.
Yeah.
And be like, "Are you okay?"
It's gesturing towards a little bit of crumpled paper on the ground, and a little waste basket on its back opens up.
But Lonnie nods and says, "Okay." I'm like, still, she's not getting up. It would feel weird for her to like stand up presently.
Yep. She's in a daze.
So she like on all fours crawls over to the paper and like, but like she uncrumples it just because like it's rude to the paper to leave it crumpled.
Quite. Yeah, she would see a message on it.
But she only sees the written message.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So that's just like a polite note, right?
Yep, a very polite note.
It does have Ashuna's name in it.
It is addressed to Aisuna, that is true.
But Lonnie like shivers and is like, I don't want to make friends. 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 No friends. No friends. No friends. No friends. Can't. Friends are gonna die. Don't want dead friends. Dead friends are bad. Can't make friends. Okay. Goodbye.
Now, as
glaring at the back of Lonnie's head.
Lonnie's having a bad time.
Yes. Aisuna, follow-ups from you with that plan having not quite worked. Do you need a moment to think? I can give you a moment to think for sure.
No, I had a second idea again because since there's a moment of so are they are the soldiers moving to? Well, I don't know. I guess time wise, how many seconds are passing? If I have time to, I assume it takes long enough for like me to throw it and Lani to not respond, like that whole thing. Have they reached the table, or are they like taking the guy away?
They have reached the table, and they are starting to drag the man to his feet. You can see that the man looks like he is protesting. This again, corner your eye. You're not gawking, of course, but
yeah,
the man looks like he's protesting, maybe even yelling, but you hear nothing from him.
Cool.
Lani does not look to Aisuna. She does not look at the other people. She goes back to cleaning her vase. However, she moves at an angle where she can look at cleaning the vase and also clean a part of the vase where she has full eye line of the thing, and it looks like she's looking at the vase, but her eye line still catches the full thing.
Sure, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And Aisuna, follow-ups from you, if any.
Yeah, so once they pick him up and they start to drag him away, take him away from the table, and their like attention is directed in that direction, not just down the table but now away from the table. Mm-hmm. She will hurriedly gently, without scraping, push her chair aside and stand up and crouch over as much as possible.
Yep.
Which is hard because she's tall, and just scurry over to Lani and like grab her shoulder.
Yep. As Aisuna is doing so, by the way, something of note. When Aisuna gets up from the table and moves away from it, she immediately hears the man wailing at the top of his lungs. And Lani could hear him the whole time, begging, pleading, beside himself.
Lani is now quite loudly saying, I don't care if I go crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, change. Crazy go, I have care, don't I? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change. I don't care if I go crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Lani would actually be snapped out by Aisuna.
Okay.
And also, given that Lani is kind of around like one of the teapots to be able to keep Eilon on this means Aisuna is, for the moment, concealed from view from the perspective of the guards and the fan creature behind that teapot.
But Lani
Incredible.
can still see the guards and the fan
Yes.
creature.
Yep.
Great.
I'm pressing up against the wall behind you, so
Yeah.
it's me, you, vase them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Honey, there's something. The teapots are connected to the chandeliers. It's all I don't know what it means, but they're all the same. It's like a key to a lock to a door or something.
Well, the big teapots are the little teapots.
Yeah, they have the same colors.
No. Does Lani know how to explain? No.
No, Lani does not know how to.
I see them.
No, the big teapots are the little teapots.
Okay, I'm not really processing that. Are they also the chandeliers?
I don't know, but the big teapots are the little teapots.
Would Lani look up at the
We
chandeliers?
covered that.
Lani would at this point look up at the chandeliers and for the second time ever reach out with her magic to try to feel if it's the same turtle. But like this is the turtle if seen from above the water in the ripple distortion.
Exactly. Aisuna is right. The chandelier, the big sculpture area on the side, and the teapots are all the same. As in there's a set of 3 for each, like a triangle that forms between them. So each is their own trio. But also, you guys can see the man howling, hauled away from the table. The guests, obviously, they're not moving, but also just by judging by how they're kind of relaxing, they cannot see or hear him. However, he is brought over to a teapot. His head is stuck, like up against its spout, and like a vacuum cleaner, he is distortedly pulled into the teapot's spout. His body warping and morphing. Exactly, spaghettification.
I have 2 questions. Both of which are determined. Well, I don't know. I have one action and then one.
Yep.
Environmental detail.
Of course.
That I'd like to perceive. So, the action is seeing this happen and as they're dragging toward the teapot, guessing what's about to happen. Aisuna will take, and perhaps this will, again, like she's taking more risks now because it's been going well so far. But she'll kind of see this happen, and it's on relatively a close side of the room, right? It's like not the opposite end.
Oh, pardon. Is actually the far wall of the room. That's why you have perfect eye line to it, because otherwise it would be blocked by the teapot.
How much like horizontal distance? Like,
oh, not bad.
It's not like opposite. Yeah. Okay.
For Aisuna, it's like an underhanded toss.
Right. Sure. So still closer than like completely across the way. Mm-hmm. The first thing, and this is gonna be, I know this is gonna be hard and maybe not even work. But for Tremor Sense, I have a perk that is echolocation. I can limit the echo I get from Tremor Sense to only return targets with specific characteristics.
Yo, that's literally, I did not design the mission with that one in mind. That's perfect. Carry on.
So what I want to pitch here, and I think still technically this will take some energy work, is having done the Tremor Sense earlier and gotten super like hella echoes everywhere. I had basically Jonas had figured up until this point like no sense in trying to Tremor Sense on the teapots because no context for that information.
Sure.
But seeing this guy get sucked into a teapot, Aisuna wants to like almost lunge forward and plant her foot, and she knows that it's going to be amplified by the porcelain, so she last second like holds back most of her weight and does a little bit. But she wants to almost direct the tremor right at the teapot in the hopes that she can sense the difference between the empty one and when it's about to be filled. Or when
this one is empty.
Or
right, but she doesn't know what the difference will be, right?
Sure.
Like,
yeah. So you want to get like a resonance between what it's like now and what it's like after.
Exactly.
Totally. That makes complete sense. And the little kind of like polite tremor sense, the little half step. It kind of adds to it too. Boop. And with that perk, that is absolutely freaking huge for this because it cuts down all of the weird echoes of the ceramic.
Yeah.
And funnels in straight on that one teapot, and you do get a full picture of what it's like between the two. Before he is spaghettified inside, there was an echoing resonance. It does feel empty based on what Aisuna is used to from like vessels, right? You know what I mean? Once full, it does not feel like it is full of person. It doesn't even feel necessarily like it's full of water. It feels like it's pressurized.
Okay.
Lani just had a very bad thought.
Only one.
Lani looks over to Aisuna and says, the teapots on the table are pouring tea. Are they drinking the people?
Yes, and that's why they go insane, is because their brains are being poured out of them. Or probably like their spirit or something. Yes, very good. Aisuna is going to so then this is maybe again it's a small room, a relatively small room, at least not the hotel ballroom, so maybe 2 sensory. She wants to observe the teapot itself, kind of trying to split her mental focus between her tremor sense and just literally looking at it, and see if anything about the pattern of the teapot changes. I'm imagining, and this may not be the case, but I'm imagining that thing of like the person's face kind of gets worked into the stylization of it.
That's really cool.
Does anything like that happen?
No, but
yeah,
the teapot does start moving. Many of the teapots are stationary, but this one now gets up and starts to go around and serve people.
Oh. A big one is doing this.
One of the ones on the table.
Is this
one of
the
the
small
table.
one? Okay.
The table-sized analogy to the big one.
Analogy of the one he just
Yep.
I see that and I turn back to Lani and go, oh, I'm so sorry, but you're 100% correct. Okay, then and there's a lot of teapots. Okay, I'm not sure my next move. I think Aisuna will attempt to dart back over to the table and retake her seat.
Okay.
What would happen if you accidentally broke a teapot? Like the little one.
I'm ready to intentionally break a lot of things. I just want to make sure.
But we gotta be polite. So if you do it on accident and then are apologetic, it's not great, but you might not die.
I've literally never broken anything not on purpose before, but I'll try. And
he's like, I'm gonna do some fiddling over here and not be over there with the dead friends. Please don't make me go over there.
You stay wherever you want. And then dart back over and try to retake her seat.
Vigor?
Vigor 1.
Awesome. That's great.
Vigor 1, Reflex 1.
Yeah. And Reflex 1, that's even better, actually. And you have Horaches as well. That's sick. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And
I always forget about those, honestly.
Yeah. As you scamper back over and kind of retake your seat, you hear your chair say to you,
"That was naughty."
Hey, if you say anything, I'll break you.
What? But that wouldn't be very polite.
I ignore the chair and continue eating politely, with just leaving the threat to stand.
To your credit, though, the chair keeps its fucking mouth shut. Or its, legs shut. I don't know.
I was going to say, hold on.
its seat shut. It keeps its seat shut.
Yeah, there you go.
And as Aisuna goes back to table manners, Lani, mental breakdown besides, what are you doing?
Lani takes back out her ritual knife, and teapots have seals.
They do?
Because they're pots. Lani's gonna start going over to the seal, but she's not going to be near it in a way where she can be spaghettified. So she is like going to be cleaning around it, going towards the like base of the seal, and then just like arcane herself as she's cleaning up, just kind of like she ends up lifting. I don't know if her or the brain man, it's some weird combo. But, like, she kind of lifts up and ends up straddling on top of the, like, spout of the teapot.
Oh, I see. Kind of like, almost like riding on an elephant's back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like not on the lid, on the spout, the part
Yeah,
where the spout
exactly.
comes out.
Mhm.
And she like eventually like bends over and starts like cleaning at the like spout entrance with
If I
her
may,
ritual
it
knife.
kind of sounds like it's almost like her cloth is what's kind of bringing her up into the air. Like she's so
Yes,
focused on the
yeah, she
cleaning.
seems to be lifted by the cloth, which
Yeah.
is just a piece of her ceremonial raiment, and she's like dipping in the polish, and like I think the polish would like come with
Oh
her.
yeah, the
I
polish
don't
would
know how,
totally come
but
with her. And we don't need to know how, but it absolutely would. This is not a place where you need to know how things work. Um, or you do, but like maybe not this specific one. Anyways, as you are kind of up onto the spout, you said you wanted to kind of clean up towards the lip of the spout, the
she
opening.
wants to like okay, so you know where like you would pour stuff out. She figures there's a stopper in there,
Yeah,
keeping the guy in.
yeah.
So where there's a stopper, gunk accumulates.
There, that's absolutely true. And you know, I've known if you've seen these. There are teapots that have like a little lid on the spout that when you pour it, the lid kind of automatically pops open.
Yeah.
This has one of those, also made of ceramic.
Yeah, so Lani starts like with her ritual knife, just like doing under it,
Getting the
kind of like
gunk
she
out.
did with the
Yeah.
baseboards, but like almost like occasionally trying to like lift it slightly. But she is like leaning far back as she's
Oh
doing this
yeah.
because fuck that noise.
As she's doing so, by the way, you would actually feel one of your sticky notes removed. The fan maitre d passes by with an approving nod to how efficient and diligent your work is.
Lani at this actually like relaxes a little bit. Cause Lani's like, okay, I'm doing a good job. Okay, I'm not gonna get trapped in a really dark place alone forever. Okay, I can do this. Hone in, Lani. And like she just continues like she is legit with the rag going up and down the spout,
Yeah.
but like with her ritual knife starting to pry it up more and more.
Yep. Absolutely. As she is doing so, uh, jumping back to Aisuna, actions you would like to take at the table.
I had one more thought descriptively
Yeah.
I was specifically paying attention to the teapot, so
Mhm.
I don't think I would have noticed anything about uh, what I'm about to ask immediately. But as I get back to the table, I'm keeping an eye on the teapot that I saw activate.
Mhm.
And I want to look up at the chandeliers and see if I can make out any kind of difference
Mm.
between inactive and active ones.
Bingo. Yes, you do. The inactive chandeliers are darker, and the active
Right.
chandeliers are brighter. And so you can see the direct
Can,
parallel between them. And I should note, given that they are teapots suspended on like great chains, the brightness comes from their inlay work, with like certain kind of nodes on the inlay work shining like bulbs.
cool. Um, is there any sense for how many are there that are brighter versus darker?
Yes, actually. And they line up to the number of teapots on the table that are moving. The total
Right.
is 4.
Oh, that's not nearly as bad as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um, cool. Ashuna will mentally mark off one of them because we know it's not the one that just turned on.
Yep.
Um, and she will wait for one of the other three to come by.
Yep.
And
Doesn't happen. It happens pretty quickly.
yeah, I need to think of how I'm gonna break this. Do the teapots exclusively pour themselves, or is it permitted to pick one up and pour yourself some tea?
Excellent question. And looking at the cue card, it seems as though with permission from the teapot, you may.
Okay. Well, I only have one sticky note, so I've been very well behaved.
Quite.
So I will, as that teapot comes closer, I will say, "Excuse me, may I pour myself some of you?"
And the teapot pauses and gives a little curtsy, and would kind of waddle over to you and present its handle.
Cool. I pick it up. Ashuna is not skilled in deception, nor does she have particularly high reflexer skill. So she will do a very slapstick kind of whoa, 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 boom, 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 and it goes sailing.
And as it hits the ground, you hear the teapot yowl in pain. And immediately, you would see that the guests tense up, and you would hear the click, 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 click of the maitre d' approaching.
Does the teapot not break?
The teapot cracked, viciously cracked, and is spilling its contents.
Okay. I was like, man, hardy teapots.
Quite a hardy teapot, but it's hardy enough to not smash into a million pieces.
Sure. Any change in its connected larger teapot or teapot chandelier?
Yes, the teapot chandelier dims, but not as dim as the unoccupied ones. So it seems to be weakened.
Got it.
And as you do so, you would feel a steely, polite hand on your shoulder.
Hello, gracious host. I'm my cue card. Should I turn to face them?
The cue card would indicate in this case that as the maitre d' is of a greater rank, you should avoid eye contact, but should use all normal obeisance.
Got it. She'll turn her head to indicate, address, but keep her eyes down, and say, "Hello, your fanliness."
That's great.
I've never met someone who is made up only of fans. I am so deeply, truly, sincerely sorry for my incredibly clumsy cracking of your ceramic.
And as you say so, you feel that steely finger kind of like pull away, and you can see that when it does so, it actually leaves a perfect surgical cut in your leathers. The fan maitre d' is so sharp that it's mere caress, like slit whatever piece of leather was right here. But as it does so, you see that it puts a hand on its hip, kind of cocks its fan head, and comes to a conclusion and slaps 4 sticky notes on you.
That's 5.
right.
No one had 5. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
However, as it does so, it moves over towards the teapot, which is going, and you hear a sharp, like, as it just impales it neatly on one sharp foot and puts it out of its misery.
And I assume the chandelier goes dark?
The chandelier does not go completely dark, but it goes dimmer.
Okay.
And you hear the sweeper dog come like shuffling off to clean up the mess. Of note,
Interesting.
As Morley right next to you is trying so hard not to react to what is going on. However, you would hear also another set of like clicking, kind of skipping footsteps as the bobblehead kind of comes back into view with its huge overemphasized mouth saying, "Hello, darling guest. We just noticed something that unfortunately your current attire does not fully fulfill our table protocol. Can we offer you a rental?"
Aisuna, her first gut is like, I feel like I wouldn't have fit before. Do you have anything in my size? Please and thank you.
Of course we do. I am happy to provide. One moment. Bobbleheads away.
There's a part of me that's just like ready to pop out and just start smashing at any moment, and I don't know when to start doing
So
it.
anyway, I started blasting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lani, actions you would like to take on the spout.
Yes, as Lani, like, slowly, like, seeming to be getting gunk from out of it, pries it open slightly because she has to, like, she's gonna go in with the cloth, like, very gently around the rim. She wants to be, like, this is Lani for the first time, like, playing with her arcane because she's so fucking terrified and Brain Man won't take over!
Yeah. What does she want to do?
Lani's very mad at Brain Man currently. She doesn't want to be here. And she wants to see if there's a friend in the pot.
Oh God. How will she tell? Is this just a pure spirit sense?
She is spirit arcaning, like just sensing for anything. Does the pot contain anything?
Define friend.
Living.
Living. Ex-living.
Corpse. Body.
Ambiguously alive. That sounds like a good concept.
Friend is anything in existence that isn't empty space.
And the answer is yes, this one has something in it.
Great. Lani starts singing the equivalent of, "Do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play.
Is she singing
I rarely see you
aloud?
anymore." She's not singing obviously Frozen, but like she is singing
Something
an
equivalent,
equivalent song of come out and play with me.
Is it aloud or is it in her mind?
No. She has been humming quietly this whole time. It would not be very jarring to anyone for her to slightly change song.
Yep.
And she is doing it aloud. And she is also she's doing an energy work to fill the void.
Ooh.
Yeah. She is fill the voiding so that the person can give her an insidious whispers.
Oh Lord. That is quite okay. I'm gonna need a little. That's a great start. I need a little more.
Yes. Yeah. Lani is reaching out, and she has identified that there's something in the jar. Okay, jar thing. I have been alone. I understand your feeling. I understand. It is terrifying. Okay. How did you get in there? What happened? How do I get?
And as you do so, the insidious whispers that returns sounds like this. I'm in the naughty corner for being naughty. Come join me. I'm so lonely. Please. Corruption.
Yeah. Lani's more panicked. Lani's like, nope. Never going in there.
The insidious whispers continues longer than it should. Please. You're the first person I've talked to in so long. Please. I miss people.
Lani, the jar has a lid, right?
Oh, it has the spout has like a little thing to it,
Yeah,
but
the
also
spout,
the
but
pot also has a lid. Yes.
Cool. Lani has finished. She's going to put that down. Go away. And but Lani's trying really, really hard. She's freaking the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, okay, breathe, Lani, breathe. She dips her fingers in the polish because the polish was her friend that sang with her.
Yeah.
And she starts putting the polish with her hand and with the thing. But she actually, I think she would ritual knife and mix her blood with the polish because she wants to be close to the friend. And she'd start rubbing it on the teapot with the piece of her dress and going back to singing ashes.
She feels the polish singing back to her very, very softly and far away.
And it helps. It helps her a little bit. And she's just.
This is going to leave a blood streak on the teapot.
Yep. But Lani will just fucking pretend she cut herself cleaning and didn't realize it. Yep. Lani is not aware enough to be worried about this right now. She will be authentically upset when she realizes it if it gets called out.
Oh yeah.
Because she did a bad job. So she's going to just be moving up with the bloody polish and being like, ashes, we all fall down. Getting up to the lid because she needs to get the lid off because she can't have people being alone. They can't be alone.
And as she is doing so, Aisuna, your clothing has not returned, but you do see, because Lani is on from your position at the table, you're looking almost directly at Lani at this point. You can see that she kind of comes down, and then she starts rising up the teapot again, and you can see the kind of like faint bloody streak she leaves as she does so.
Man, I don't know how well Aisuna can help with that. Doesn't have a lot of arcane. Gosh, tricky. I have just seen something in my gear that I am a complete and utter fool for not using up until now. That's fine. We'll worry about that in a second. Um, I will. I mean, Lani said she didn't want to come here. I'm
I wouldn't
gonna.
worry about Lani in the existential crisis. Sorry.
No, well, I mean, I should have got that vibe for sure. She's a team focused Enclave agent, but she also understands there's only so much she can do, and she is also focused on the mission. So I think she sees that, and she's like, well, I mean, if it comes to a fight, we can probably handle ourselves. So she'll instead, while waiting for her new clothes to arrive, is going to uh, pull up one of the many cloth sashes and things she has, um, tuck up a little cloth blindfold over her eyes,
Mm.
and try to. Well, first before the blindfold, she's going to map one of the. There's two teapots remaining uh, on the table that are not the one we saw get filled.
Yes, exactly. That are not the one you saw get
Yeah.
filled. Precisely.
Yeah. So doesn't we don't know yet if the one that I cracked is our target.
Mhm.
But Aisuna doesn't have a good way to find that out. So she's going to try something else. She's going to try, and as another teapot passes, and I assume gives Aisuna a bit of a wide berth, she's going to pull up her blindfold
Totally right.
and activate the. I don't know if this counts as a terrain feature, I guess, but try to see into the teapot with her safety goggles.
Oh, that's her safety goggles. That's so cool. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Now, a quick question. Of the two remaining, do you care if it's the one that is linked or that is analogous to the one that Lani is currently tending to?
She would probably try and catch that one first.
Sure. And as this kind of blindfold is shifted into place, yes, normally she would not be able to see into a teapot. I would not call a teapot a terrain feature. But given that
Sure.
this teapot is in 3 places,
It is kind of yeah.
you can see that as you look inside, there is the faint. This is very, very cursed, but it almost looks like an ultrasound. You can see this kind of hunched,
Sure.
fetal position individual there. You can see that they have like the tatters of formal clothing hanging off of them. You can see them just kind of almost mummified in place.
So, can I discern masculine or feminine type of frame?
Yep, it's a masculine frame, and also because the Enclave, of course, would have briefed you on what Joseph looked like prior.
I
to this.
wasn't sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The main thing to note about Joseph is he was wearing a large dinner jacket, and in this case, this individual does have a dinner jacket draped across them, almost like a blanket.
But it looks like they've been here for a while.
Oh yeah, they look still.
Okay.
And again, almost mummified.
Okay. I think that is enough evidence for Aisuna to start making moves. So, while still waiting for her clothes to come back, she will just get up from the table again and go scuttle over to Lani.
Can I insert something that Lani was doing as she was moving up?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So as she was cleaning and the blood was smearing, the rest of her dress is now also ceremonial raimented for this and is not covered in blood polish. So it would be taking most of the blood away
Oh,
as she like presses against the
I
teapot.
see. Yeah, so you're like
Mhm.
wiping, like.
No, it's just I think she's just like pressed like full body against the teapot and like army crawling her way up.
Yeah, as it's kind of like
So
hovering
like
her
she's
up.
polishing ahead of her, but then her dress is dragging over everything she just polished.
Sure. On closer inspection, it would have some smudging, but that's on closer
100%, but
inspection.
like it would be hard to see from a distance.
Now, Aisuna, a question to you. How much do you want to not get seen? Because the maitre d', the fan maitre d', is back to its hawk-like observance at the head of the table.
Oh, true. Right. perhaps she can cause another distraction first. Okay. Here's a pitch. Before she leaves the table, because all the food and all the plates and everything is all alive and it's all part of the room.
Yep.
And everything's made of porcelain. The food is not made of porcelain?
The food is not made of porcelain. Great qualification.
Aisuna will use her utensils. I'm going out on a limb here. Use her utensils to gently, she starts scraping, or she starts cutting her food.
Yep.
Cutting off a chunk of something with a knife and fork. And as she gets through the food to the plate, which is porcelain, and is the room which is alive, she will use she'll attempt to gouge the tiniest little divot in the plate with her fork. And she is looking kind of across the table, like 8 seats down, closer to the maitre d'. And she wants to geomorph the tiniest furrow under someone else's chair, so that it will and cause a clatter.
Beautiful. And sure enough, they are dumped out of their chair. Immediately, by the way, your plate would also go, ow, oof. But more notably, that isn't heard because the maitre d' immediately, like a heron stalking amongst reeds, would start to click, click, click over towards the person on the ground, who makes the severe mistake of protesting. I didn't do it! It wasn't me!
And Aisuna feels no guilt at all and scoots up from her chair and runs over to Lani.
And as she makes it over to Lani, kind of sliding up, just you want to like post up behind the teapot in that like vision blocker place she was
again, just to try and hide as much as possible.
Yep. What does she want to do after arriving?
I think it's this one, actually. I think we've been staring at it the whole time. Not at first noting.
Can't be alone.
Not at first noting if how Lani is doing, and then says that, like keeping an eye on the maitre d', and then looks down and sees Lani rocking back. It's like, how do you get anything done? And
well, Lani is making her way slowly towards the lid of the teapot.
That's true. Lani is like uncannily rising up the teapot as she's wiping it, and so Aisuna would be like looking at her like as she's going. But yeah, Lani
for wiping and like rocking, like
for everything Aisuna can tell, Lani has gone mad. Just like plain and simple, stark raving mad.
She was not doing great before she got corrupted.
Yeah, I've seen one of these before. She, I mean, look, Aisuna is 8 foot tall. She's got might too. Lani is a tiny waif of a person. Aisuna will just bodily wrap an arm around and just hold.
No. That's containing Lani. You just get arcane fucked off.
Now, I should note, the arcane power that comes from Lani would shove Aishuna's hand away, and it feels almost like, how do I describe this? It feels almost like a wave, like an ocean wave.
It would be like a wave coming bodily at you.
But it's like, it's invisible, and immediately you don't feel it as soon as you're pushed backwards.
Okay. She's all right. I know you've explained this like 3 times, but just clarify for me one more time. The large teapot has the little lid on the spout. Is there also a lid on the top?
Yes, there is.
That is what Lani is moving towards currently.
Yep.
Gotcha. Just to make sure. When you said lid, I wasn't sure which of those lids.
Yeah, I'll try to use like cap for the one on the spout, and then lid for the top.
Tap's great. Sure. Cool. I mean, again, Aisuna, like, she's gotten away with so much, like she's ready to just start kind of getting a little more aggressive with it. So seeing Lani, I think that like it's just that whole like she sees the whole maitre d' thing. She's trying to be stealthy. This is out of her comfort zone. She comes over, sees Lani moving, and is like, "I need to talk to you." Tries to pull, gets pushed back, and is like, "You know what? I don't need to talk to you. Actually, we have the same idea."
Yeah.
So Aisuna will just reach up and attempt to. I think she's not dumb enough to just try to rip the lid off. She'll put a hand on the lid and see if it feels like she can pull it off. Like apply pressure, but not remove her hand.
Remember how I said it feels like the thing got pressurized when a person got brought into it? It does feel like there's almost like a suction, like a vacuum that keeps it in place. It's just kind of testing it with her massive hand. Aisuna could maybe pry it off, but that would also be kind of explosive in some way.
Okay. Is Lani? How's Lani developing here?
I'll ask Lani in a moment, but before, another thing of note, you can see that those two champagne pop gun soldiers are marching into the room over towards the protesting guest, who is now histrionically sobbing and wailing.
I feel bad. I'm starting to feel bad for that guy, but listen, we bought some time.
Quite. Lani, actions as you reach the lid.
Okay, so, do you guys know the song City on Fire from Sweeney Todd?
I do not know it.
There's like the mad woman, and she's like, she's just like, it's legit just her like, mischief, city on fire. Like, it's a very frantic type of song.
Sure.
It's just like, it's a madness song because she was poisoned and lost her goddamn mind. Poisoned to other things and then lost her mind.
Yeah.
So like Lani's singing has become that, but instead of like City on Fire, it is can't be gotta get him out, gotta get him out, gotta get him out. But it's in a like melodic thing. As she's taking her ritual knife yet again to like begin like almost cleaning, but just like starting to pry off the lid with this like arcane, just like it's like arcane, but it's also just enhanced by the ritual knife and all the cleaning it has been done. Lani needs to get into the pot to clean it. Lani needs to get the pot open and empty so that she can scrub the inside, but it can't close. It needs to be open to air out because the thing in it is bad. There's bad things in it. She needs to get it open to clean the inside, but it needs to air out because she knows that if you like keep things contained and stuff, they get rotten. Because she had to deal with rotten on the island, the concept of rot and old and yuck.
Yep.
So she just has to get rid of
like Aisuna, it would look almost like a bright line of light that follows the ritual knife as it's being traced around the lid. But as you would be doing so, in the same way that, again, to use an island analogy, when you're working at a barnacle to get it off of something and finally you feel it starting to give, Lani would feel give from the lid, as she is just doing this steady tracing. Now, Aisuna, as Lani's song changes, she starts tracing around the top of the lid. You see that line of bright magic. You see the maitre d' and the guards escorting the bouncers, rather, escorting the guest over towards a teapot, like almost as far away across the room as you can get from where you guys are. What do you want to do?
Take mental note of the pattern of that teapot so we don't get confused, just in case this isn't Joseph.
Yep.
And
oh, I'm so sorry. One quick moment. I'm getting a knock at my door. Hello.
I did ask for Lani trauma.
Okay. Again, you got to stand right here because you don't have pants on. Okay.
Hello.
Right. Hi. That's Xela right there. You want to say hi to Xela?
Yeah.
Hi. Good.
Hi.
All right. Now it's time to go to bed. Okay, sweetums.
Come on, bud.
Sleep well, Swag. He asked about you last time that he came to look at the stream, Xela, and he was like, "Is Xela there?" Pardon me.
I am a champion of getting toddlers to take naps. It's my secret skill. I have done it twice. Apparently, this toddler does not sleep. I have had no issues getting him to go down for a nap.
Nicely done. Pardon me, Jonas. Yeah. Carry on.
All good. Life priorities for sure. I like I like the City on Fire specifically because what Aisuna is going to do, seeing the ring of light, is there any warmth coming from this light?
From the light Lani is tracing, no. If anything, it's cold. But there is warmth kind of from the chandeliers.
Aisuna will, this is quite far beyond her lithomancy. And she doesn't have great arcane either. Of course, as I said, I spec wide. But what I what I want to pitch because it seems cool is I want to use, I mean, the warmth of Ashuna's own body, perhaps the pressure of whatever's inside. And she is going to put her hands on either side of this. She's going to stay out of Lani's way. Lani, keep doing what she's doing. Ashuna's going to kneel down, put her hands on either side of this teapot, not a flower pot, and slightly begin to like work her hands around the sides in a Patrick Swayze and Ghost fashion, and attempt to, arcanologically convince the ceramic to return to some of the shapelessness of clay.
Ooh, that's cool.
And try to work the pot into creating tiny, tiny, tiny little valves so that when Lani pops the lid off, it doesn't just explode, but has like a release.
That's really, really cool. Okay, so you're kind of working your hands into it, right? Is this almost like Aisuna is actually working true clay, like malleable clay, or like it would take her some time to get to it, of course, but like give me an idea of how she's forming these valves.
I think it's that like Aisuna closes her eyes fully and she is imagining her homeland and the mountains and the riverbeds there, and like working little statues in clay to give to the kids of the village, and how and kind of also like hyping herself up a little bit, like, in your hands, great lithomancer, everything is as malleable as clay. And recalling a couple missions ago where she successfully managed to very briefly, quell a rising volcano.
Oof, cool.
And how painful that was. It was, huge essence cost, but she's just using that memory just to hype herself up and be like, come on, this is just a pot. Like, it was clay. It can remember what it felt like to be clay, and she will dig her fingers into it.
That's awesome.
And create little finger-shaped hole valves with that energy.
Originally, I was going to be like, oh, this sounds like a geomorph, but the way you just described it, you have those earth shapers, and this is like...
Do you have earth shapers? Yeah.
Yeah, this is like an earth shaper energy work more than anything else, so you don't even have to kick the geomorph. I love it. And as you kind of like dig your fingers into the more malleable side of the pot, you would feel, again, the pressure. It's almost like pushing your fingers into a full balloon. You can feel the pressure back on them. You know what I mean? But that said, I'm guessing Aisuna is not gonna pop the balloon. It's like gonna get it
right.
Yeah.
Like her goal is like, okay, I can't stop Lani, so I'm just gonna try and make it so that this doesn't destroy itself or us when it opens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Lani, with that give, what do you want to try to do? How are you going to get the lid off? It is really freaking heavy, as you might imagine, but like...
Yeah. Lani is going to take... Lani, of course, also has common item dagger. Mm-hmm. Ritual knife is shit for doing utility shit. It breaks like a motherfucker. Common item dagger doesn't.
Yep.
Different items. So Lani, like, once the ritual knife has like gotten the thing, shoves the common item dagger in and then turns it so that it is propped up about an inch.
And as soon as she does so, by the way, it gives, and there's a sudden and Aisuna's release valves kind of like almost blow her fingers like out of the little holes she created. It hurts and it stings. But more notably, the stuff hissing out from the lid and from the valves on either side, it does not blow the lid off. It does not take Lani's head off. Thank fuck. But you both feel your nostrils bathed in the thick, sickly smell of perfume. As perfume spews from the teapot in big, thick, unctuous clouds.
Okay. I want to energy work the satchel with probably with some level of arcane, but like, so Lani wants seawater. Just water from the ocean.
Out of your satchel? That's cool.
It can be in a jar. I don't know.
It's
She
in
just
a
wants.
shell. No, it would totally be in a little shell.
Now it just like lives in the lone shit.
Like just like a little spirally shell with water in it.
Like she just wants to dump water in, like because water not like salt water like kind of has a way, and like salt water, but also like probably she'd also want like another shell full of dry sand
Sure.
to absorb the smells.
As you are doing so, Aisuna, actions you would like to take as the lid blows and the perfume spews out.
Does the lid move, or does it just like
It like
is it
rattles
just
and
starred?
it like rattles and then shifts to the side.
Cool.
Where is Lani in relation to the pot? Like, how is the?
She's at the top of the pot, like right next to the lip, which would mean that her like foot and knee level is like Aishuna's eye level at the moment.
Right. That's yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So, gonna try and I guess just grab opposite Lani. Not gonna touch her. Um, try and well, no. You know what? First, she's gonna take some like I don't know, like a leather plug for her gear and just pop those into her nose.
Sure.
And then she's gonna try and essentially like bear hug, grapple the pot, and lower it gently down onto its side. With Lani on the opposite side.
This is like moving a fridge. This thing is freaking heavy, but arguing with it down. Fortunately, Aisuna not only is very strong, but is also huge. And that helps a lot. Got a lot of mass behind that muscle. And as you
Lani would just have like slid down when it starts to move.
and as you do so, the two of you, as just as Aisuna is setting it down outside, would hear the ring of one of those little dingly bells. You know, the ones that you see like the summon bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling. You would hear the imperious dinging of a summon bell, and you would hear the sharp marching footsteps of the pop gun soldiers marching towards you.
Well, it's about to get messy.
Lani would okay. Lani would take her ritual knife, do one final ring around the no. She would take her ritual knife and chip a piece from the lid, like take a sliver. You know how like the opposite of what you do when carving a pumpkin to be able to like stick it in and like figure out how it goes. She would cut a piece out so it couldn't seal again.
As she does so, it's successful, but her ritual knife snaps.
Yep.
Yep.
As predicted.
Yeah.
Lani just drops it.
Totally. Chip successful. Aisuna, the billowing pillows of perfume are actually obstructing your view pretty heavily. You can only hear the direction that the footsteps are coming from, and they're coming from two directions. The two that were already in the room are being joined by two more.
I think Aisuna, again, has not quite grappled with the severity of this whole situation and believes with little difficulty she will be able to smash things made of porcelain.
Quite.
She is maybe beginning to guess that won't be 100% the case because this thing is way heavier than she expected. But she's still like, eh.
Yeah.
So she figures that will happen. So she's gonna try and just continue like lowering down. Can she see inside as she gets it off the tilt?
Yes, she can.
Like what is happening in there?
And looking inside, she sees a miasma of perfume clouds, completely impenetrable to her eyes.
Right. Of course.
Lani's
Yeah, right. The thing you just said
crawling
is still there. That makes sense.
No, it could have ejected. You never. It's a totally legit question.
Lani is crawling into the pot. She has to clean it.
Yep. As Lani enters the pot.
She still has the polish and the scrub brush.
Yep. I am about to describe something awful.
Having gotten to the ground. Back on all fours, having gotten to the ground, she is just going inside of the pot, starting to scrub it.
So as she enters, this is the best way. This is okay. I'm just so sorry. This is the best way I can think to describe this. Imagine the perfume smell, but in your nose and in your mouth, it has the consistency of a person, like as though you're chewing and swallowing a person every time you take a breath of it.
Got it. Awful.
Now, I will note, the perfume that poured out did not have this quality.
I have some weird questions.
I have some weird answers.
Is it like a person in a nom way, cute? Is it like a person in a lick them way, still cute, less slightly mid cute depending, typically more sensual, sexual? Is it like a person in the cannibal way?
It's a person in
Is
the
it like a
cannibal
person
way.
in the live way?
It's a person in the cannibal way. Like, it feels as though the breath you are taking is meat you are swallowing.
It's fucked. It's fucked.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's great. I mean, I love it. I just hate it.
Yeah, precisely. Aisuna.
I told you it was a weird question.
No, it's a great question. While Lani is pondering, I'll get back to Lani in a moment. Actions Aisuna would like to take to give you an idea. If she's at like the mouth of the pot, the dinner table's like roughly in front of her. The two sets of footsteps would be coming at like her 3 o'clock and her 9 o'clock.
I don't know that
Right.
Lani would have greeted her when crawling into the pot.
I don't think she would have.
No, that's fine. I think so. Aisuna sets the pot down, and again, it's just like, all right, like this has happened. This is not the first time she's dealt with someone, a fellow agent, being kind of kooky this way.
Yes.
So Aishuna's like, well, every agent is on the mission for a reason. So she will assume that Lani is doing something helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I think she is, but Aisuna doesn't know what that is. And Ashuna's order of operations is, okay, get Joseph out because we still need to get him a part in. Protect us from the guards. If this isn't Joseph's pot, we need to get another pot.
Quite.
So, seeing what she saw earlier, that the pot, the little teapot, the big teapot, and the chandelier teapot, that when the first one, the small teapot broke, the chandelier got darker, but not all the way dark, and obviously the big teapot didn't change. I don't know if I have the understanding to make the inference of what it actually is, but there's a tripartite connection that all three are in synchronicity. So Aisuna is going to set the thing down, and as she turns up and rises to her full height, will pull the circling stones off of her belt, and just have them start, orbiting in an atomic fashion.
Something I can also note, given that her mind is full of chandelier, teapot, big pot, that sort of thing, the chandelier, even though the billowing clouds are obstructing ground level, they don't obstruct above. And the chandelier that aligns to this teapot is dimmer.
Right. Aisuna is going to, so the with the perfume obstructing me, can she see the table at all?
Only barely.
Anything
She
on the
cannot
table?
make out the teapots on the table.
Okay, that was a question. Okay, well, first order of business then is look up chandelier. She will attempt to fling a circling stone or two at the matching chandelier and bust it.
As her circling stones, like, I'm guessing her circling stones are like similarly like large as she is.
They're larger than a normal one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as
She
they
needs
do
to
so-
she needs to step on them, so they gotta be
yeah, of course, yeah.
hefty.
There's a great crack and a smash, and you actually take a chunk out of it, which falls down to the table and sends pudding everywhere. But in so doing, you can see that the chandelier, light shines from it, radiates from it, but it's not like bright, blinding sunlight. Imagine moody, colored staged lighting, but vivid and intense and almost seeping from the broken chandelier like liquid. Additionally, however, you would see through or not see, but rather hear through the smoke, a little like, the over the trenches with like that sort of like thing that you hear. You would hear that from both sides kind of simultaneously. And you hear the marching start, and you would hear the noise of them shouldering their pop guns.
Offensive or defensive? well, guns are faster than drawing a sword is. So Aisuna will. So the chandelier is still hanging. A chunk
It's
has been taken
handling, but you
out and it's
just
seeping
bashed
liquid.
it open. It's seeping this like
Got it.
light-made liquid. I should also
Right.
note. Oh, actually, I won't note that in a second. You have other things to worry about. What do you want to do?
I think Ashuna is still not that worried about the guards. Even like she's starting to get worried, but she's still not that worried. So she's gonna focus on the chandelier, and she's gonna try and knock it off of its hook or chain, whatever.
Chain. Yep, with
is
another
holding it up.
circling stone.
Another circling stone. Yeah.
And the chain breaks, the chandelier falls, and craters the table. You hear guests involuntarily gasp. And you hear some of the, like, pieces of the table, the cutlery, the table itself, go like, oh, ow, ow, I'm hit. But as this is happening, you would hear a series of loud on either side of you. But, like, what I just did, but, like, a bajillion times louder. And Aisuna would feel a withering pain in her shoulder. This pop gun took out almost an entire like disc of flesh from her shoulder when it hits. It's almost like getting hit by a hand cannon. Fortunately, only one of them hit her, but the two like firing lines crossed over her on either side, and the impact, even for Aishuna's size, even for her resilience, would floor her just immediately on the ground. And she would be spewing blood from that shoulder.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awful and horrifying, and the stakes have just changed.
Quite. What does she want to do?
I think I'm not sure how many things I can kind of do at once here, but her first move is so those are like champagne popcorn, so they have quite a hefty reload time, I would assume.
It would imagine so, yes. And in fact, actually, since you fell to the side, looking through the mist at ground level, you can see they're reloading it by shaking the champagne bottle again.
I do, yeah. She'll so. Oh, just shit. I nice. It took me a second to visualize that. She will. I didn't narrate pulling her blindfold down earlier, though she certainly would have to do the other things she did.
Yep.
But she will pull it up again.
Yep.
To help see through the mist.
Absolutely.
By default, clear sight in low visibility environments. Then she will attempt to. I think she's still. Okay, the pop gun's hurt, but I think her first instinct is still like, well, these guys will smash easy. So she will pull that up and then use that improved sight to attempt to, like, spin from her fallen position, rise up, and kind of do like a. I'm imagining it's hard for me to gesture with both my hands because I'm on push to talk. But using the radial motion of the spin up onto her feet to fling two circling stones at the two
closest ones
that she's facing that way.
Yep.
And then, assuming she has the opportunity, turn and do the same to the others.
Yep. Skill stat?
No skill.
No skill. Okay. In that case, as she spins to her feet and flings two of the circling stones, one of them goes wide. The other one catches the ceramic guard like across the face. He does not shatter. He goes down, and he's clearly hurt, clearly dented, clearly cracked, but not shattered. And the other one has clearly finished like a super soaker, shaking up his champagne bottle and is leveling it back towards Aisuna again.
Cool. Aisuna now understands the full weight of how out of her league she is. She will, as she turns to like continue flinging the circling stones and sees this guy aiming, she'll realize, okay, never mind, and she'll the circling stones will orbitally retract into her and form the basis of the armored plates of her stone skin as she just fully tenses up and locks down.
And as she does so, once again, but way louder, and even in the stone skin, she feels it. Yep. It is not enough to crack, like completely gouge her through the stone skin, but she is actually like knocked back onto her ass because of just the sheer power behind this pop. That said, the stone skin does hold, and she still has it up as she hits the ground. But before we go further with her, and also, of course, the other two have loaded and haven't yet fired.
That's fine. That won't be a problem, I'm sure.
Lani. Lani inside of the teapot. She cannot find a body in here.
Yep.
But it does feel like the air is getting chunkier, to use an awful phrase.
Yeah. Yeah. Bonnie's just gonna be doing some weird shit.
Yes, quite.
So
Very out of character.
I don't have a non-IP song, but I have two
That's fine.
mashup songs
That's
that I
fine.
can use.
The
Both
in-world
from Sweeney
analogy
Todd
is fine.
both from Sweeney Todd because on theme. Very on theme. So we have a combo of I feel you, Joanna, and someday I'll steal you. And it's priest, have little priest. Is it good? Well, it's too good at least. Which is a song about eating people.
Yes. That one I know.
Mash up those two. That is the vibe. She is just trying to find this person, talking about getting them, and talking about eating people, because she
Yes.
feels like she's eating this man.
And as she's looking about, singing, like blindly scrabbling inside of the teapot.
She's still cleaning actually,
Oh, yeah.
because
That's a fair point.
she just can't. So it's just weird little circles as she's singing this song. She doesn't have her knife anymore. She doesn't know shit that's going on. Brain Man might be doing
But
something.
you know
Lani's
what
not
she
aware
feels?
of it.
She has Trip's spirit. Is that true? Triple spirit?
Yeah, Trip Spirit.
Trip's spirit, yeah. She feels that the perfume cloud is so happy to see her. It clings to her, desperate for her not to leave.
Accidentally made a friend.
That said, you need an actual guy, and this is not an actual guy.
Lonnie's super corrupted, but she's out of options, and she's like, I either need to know how to make them a person, or you need to take the fuck over.
And activating the insidious whispers, which you don't need to say aloud to say, you hear teapot, urn, chandelier, 2 down, 1 to go.
Okay. Lani would. She would take from her satchel a locket.
Yep.
Open it. Get a bit of the perfume air in it. She doesn't know what she's doing, but just catch some of it in it. Put it around her neck so it's sitting where her heart is and it can hear her heartbeat.
Yep.
Like hold it, press it to her heartbeat so that it could feel her heartbeat. And then she says just to the air, I'll be back. You're not alone. You're coming with me. And then she goes, and she is focused on no one. But she embraces the darkness.
And as she embraces the darkness, the first thing the entity would do is teleport her away from the firing line of pop guns to the other side of the table. There's no perfume here, at the very least, and also there's no shooties. But what there is the Mater D, who is currently has its back to you and is looking towards the perfume cloud imperiously. You see it has that little dingly bell in its hand, and is clearly considering using it again.
Yeah, Lani's not currently concerned.
Yep, embrace
the
darkness is
entity's
active.
not concerned.
Yep.
The entity's not concerned because fuck that noise. Not looking at me, not a problem. The problems are only in existence when they are fucking problems.
Yep.
So what the entity would it is solely just it needs there 2 down, 1 to go. It's murdering the final T. It can't murder it because it needs the guy. It's dump. It is okay. It is going to pick up the teapot,
Oh,
and teleport back.
before you get to that point, though, the entity would either need to teleport her onto the table to get the teapot, or have her hurry over and reach for it.
She's going to like she will. Lani tends to levitate when she is in Embrace the Darkness, so it
Yep.
would just like casually just levitate over and like pick it up. Like
And as you do so, one of the guests that you reach past gasps and then covers her mouth. And as the teapot is grasped, the entity would sense through Lani's 3 spirit the Mater D swiftly approaching.
no, it just makes a dark bubble around Lani. It's not dealing with this noise.
And as it creates a dark bubble, a slit of light comes through as the entities, as the Mater D's unbelievably sharp limbs slice through. A very
Yeah,
rare.
but
so cool.
the bubble is moving.
Oh, indeed. But as the entity slices it open, the bubble pauses, and the entity and Lani's entity feels himself at odds with the greater authority of the realm, as a tinkling voice would echo, "That's not very polite." As the Mater D steps into the shadow, like the bubble of darkness, what would Lani's
Okay,
entity
this is
do?
going to be a cool thing that has never happened.
Yeah.
The entity is going to essentially veneer Lani to look like it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to leave that ambiguous? Because it's kind of cool if we don't know.
Yeah, no, it's almost like it's actually pretty much like a shadow form of a man, but it's masculine. It's like probably 6 foot at least.
Yeah.
And it is just a vague shadow form of a man, almost like you see someone's shadow on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Sick.
but it turns to her with like these unseeing eyes and says, "Apologies. We need the man called Joseph to be with a full pardon, and you may resume your party."
And the Mater D kind of, again, stick insect-like, stalks slowly closer. The great accordion fan arms folding gently as it keens its fine, sharp limbs. But as it does so, that tinkling voice responds, "And if I refuse?"
My child did good service. She cleaned quite well for you. It would be impolite not to give her a compensation.
And you hear, "She can take it. Not you, though." But as that happens, in like old-timey diners, they'd have that little metal spike that you would stick like a receipt on, or like an order on. Well, the fan Mater D's pointy top of its head suddenly has a little paper spike through the top of it in exactly that manner, as it continues to slowly, like a praying mantis, stalk towards Lani, who is currently, again, standing next to the table with the guests on either side of her in the bubble of shadow, which is slowly kind of peeling away, having been popped, both cowering, terrified, desperate, not sure of what to do. And the Mater D stalks closer. Before we go further with that,
Wait,
however...
did Embrace the Darkness end?
No, it
Like,
has not.
Cool,
It
so
has not ended.
She still looks like Shadow Man.
Yep. Aisuna, actions in Stoneskin. What do you want to do?
Yeah. You said that there were the other 2 guards had reloaded and were aiming.
Yep, they reloaded and are aiming on the other side.
Right. So,
You can
not knowing any of the
even
business.
though you can't see, by the way, you can hear them because they have this like click clack clock as they are kind of bringing their pop guns.
Sure. I still have my blindfold under my stone skin.
Yes, you do.
Which, well, I guess stone skin also doesn't count as a terrain feature. Never mind. It's a terrain. It's a feature of my personal terrain. No, I don't need that anyway. I'm because Aisuna is not waiting for sound or for sight. She is going to maintain stone skin. Not having any idea what wonderful negotiations are happening on the other side of the room, which is very funny to me. She is going to maintain stone skin until the instant both pops hit her, she's going to try and like she knows what to expect now from that impact. So she's not going to be able to just fully push through it, but she's going to try and like roll with it and dissipate the force as much as possible. So that as soon as the second shot has hit and she is no longer in immediate danger, she can drop Stone Skin and act.
Excellent. And sure enough, twice, pop, pop. And these, okay, the best analogy I can give is imagine a normal person taking a like Mike Tyson uppercut to the kidney. Like, boom, enormous force. It might actually like cause an internal bleeding of some kind. Aishuna's not going to be able to diagnose that precisely. But thud, thud, both hit her kind of in the ab and the side, respectively.
And she will, as soon as the second one hits, she'll grit her teeth through the pain, and drop Stone Skin, crumbles off of her. She is like reflexively contorting around the pain in her middle section.
Yep.
And she's going to use that contortion. There's a whole move here. She's gonna string everything together to make this work.
Yeah.
Use the pain contorting forward, using that to roll. And as she rolls forward, because she had been knocked down on her ass, she contorts forward, somersaults. As she rolls, is pulling the crumbled stone skin that falls off of her and willing it into the shape of a sword, her rock maul.
Ooh, cool.
And as she somersaults forward, and probably also, I've never established her handedness. Did we? You made this gesture for when she got shot. So is it her right shoulder that got a chunk taken out of it? So she's probably. I don't think I ever established her handedness. So she's probably either leans right or is like pretty even on both ends because she does so much climbing. So the left is maybe a little bit less used to leading with her weaponry. So obviously not able to get nearly as much force anyway with that happening. Also, she's also like, this is the third time on a mission that she's had some kind of incredibly grievous wound to her shoulder. So really? She's like, I gotta get more armor there. It's like the confirmation bias plane with the markings from where they got shot. Anyway, off topic. She somersaults forward, pulls the crumbling stone skin into her sword, and as she plants her feet at the end of the somersault, rises up and uses all the momentum of the spin to smash the sword down on what remains of the cratered table in front of her.
Yep.
And she is just going to start causing as much wreckage, specifically not on the table necessarily, because she's not trying to like kill all the guests there, but she wants to smash up the ground and the walls as much as possible. And she's just going to go from like smash into the table and then pull back and into the wall and pull back and smash on the ground, and just hoping in her mind, this creature of manners and order will not just find this distasteful, but perhaps will be actively psychically wounded by having such horrible chaos and disorder brought to their realm.
Certainly. And as she smashes and smashes, this sounds like kind of erratic movements. Like, I'm guessing this is...
Yes. She's in a lot of pain. Probably her eyes are still closed, and she's just waiting every moment for another pop gun to hit her, and she's just trying to push through the pain as much as possible.
She hears the screaming of guests. She hears the popping of more pop guns going off. The first two miss. The third is a very close miss that grazes her cheek bad enough that it actually puts a gouge in it. However, as she continues to smash and crash and gouge and bash, Lani, the shadow bubble that the entity has created has almost vanished. What would the entity do from here with Embrace Darkness still active?
The entity says, escort her, get her, Joseph. The chaos will leave. You can resume. She will have been compensated.
And as you do so, the fan Mater D puts one of its incredibly keen blade arms that make up the edges of the fan up to the entity's neck. And you would hear the little tinkling voice has this kind of undertone of like utter like teeth grinding contempt, but like all no, not contempt, disgust, like cringe. That's what it is. It's like an undercurrent of cringe of you are in no position to negotiate.
The entity would like seemingly look around again, eyeless. It can't really tell, but its head would move slightly, even though like the shadow part would get cut slightly and Lani's skin would be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And it would say, given the state of your dining room, I don't think you are either.
And as the blade kind of hovers there, it presses in ever so slightly, and a little drip of blood comes down from Lani's neck. And you would hear the tinkling voice say, do you really want to take that risk?
Do you? Would your master be pleased to have such chaos? To have you kill someone who served them?
The blade retracts. And the other hand reaches out and daintily flips the lid off of the teapot that is still in the entity's hand, unsmashed. And as it does so, you hear, the pardon is yours. The liability is yours as well. The little dingle bell goes, bring. Enjoy the reinforcements.
The entity takes the pardon. It just shoves it into Lani's satchel. It's good enough. And it just turns and brings the thing over. It's tired. It is just it will deal with bullets when they are headed towards it.
And speaking of which, the entity would see 2 pop gun soldiers flanking the mouth of the great teapot urn. The great teapot urn, by the way, no longer has a miasma of perfume inside. And as the entity approaches, both champagne bottles are pointed straight at it.
It says, the entity is so fucking done with this shit, but it is a deity. It knows how to deity. It says, greetings, gentlemen. I possess here, it goes into the satchel, a pardon for the man contained in this pot. If you would be so kind as to step aside so I may retrieve him and escort him out of here, that would be excellent, and I would thank you kindly. I may present you with, it reaches into Lani's satchel, and pulls out, what would Lani have? 2 pretty flowers.
2 what?
Like pressed flowers.
Yes, nice.
2 of them. And says, I will present you each with these flowers as a token of my ward. It would call Lani its ward. Mm-hmm. My ward's gratitude. She is currently indisposed. This has been a very trying time for her. I would allow you to speak on her behalf. She has served your master well. She wishes to give you these things as a token of her grace and appreciation for your job well done.
And the 2 champagne bottles are taken off, and they march forward and politely bow and extend a hand gratefully, and they pin them to their own little chests like corsage. And then they turn their pop guns towards Aisuna and start blasting.
No. Apologies, Shadow Entity does not currently give a fuck.
Yes, quite.
Sorry.
And you can see inside of the teapot, the perfume has congealed into a fetal position body.
Shadow Entity goes into the teapot. It says, you had spoken to my ward. She was not doing well when you spoke. I think you may have caused her a little bit of difficulty. Let me escort you out.
Thank you. He drapes his dinner jacket around himself. It's the only piece of clothing he has left, and he kind of used it almost like a toga. And he weakly, very weakly, clambers to his feet and reaches up towards you blindly.
I don't think Embrace the Darkness would drop because I don't think Lani's in a state to take back over. So but he already filled the void at this person forever
exactly.
ago.
Yes, you have filled the void up.
Yeah, I filled the void at this motherfucker.
Yep.
So the entity grabs his hand and says, "Let us go."
Aisuna, smash, 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 but also the gunshots are coming more frequently. There's more than 3 of the soldiers now. There's now 5. And Aisuna has become backed into a corner at the far end of the room. You might remember I described the room as having like a little stage at one end with curtains and everything. This is where Aisuna has found herself, with the guards kind of trooping up, kind of taking like knees now and again to like pop a shot at her as well. Her erratic movements have kept her safe for the moment, but she does not have room to maneuver.
Is the stage also porcelain?
Yes, it is. The curtains are not. The stages.
I was going to ask about the curtains as well. Aisuna will take her sword and like move as if she's going to like she's like heaving and bleeding and grimacing, and there's all kinds of like, I don't know, porcelain blood on her face. I just imagine like blue stains for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe from the food. She kind of and like leaps forward as if she's going to strike out and like kind of attack all the guards, but instead goes down, hits both knees, plants the sword in the ground, tenses up around it, and activates Stone Skin again if it is off cooldown.
You do not have Stone Skin up, but you do have Geomorph.
Yeah. Okay. So I figured it is a mid cooldown. So then, rather than that, she will pull it down and try to quickly use the sword, almost stirring the porcelain, dragging it up, and summoning that same impulse from before, that this was clay and it will remember what clay is like. And she will attempt to I was going to try and do something like bigger and more of a large affect of the ground, but I think she's wounded enough and drained enough at this point that she is just going to try and use it to protect herself. So she'll try and either use that clay to pull up a wall around herself.
Yep.
Hoping that the porcelain will be as sturdy as it is on them, or even to, if she can, I don't know, like sort of the what's underneath this room, but if she can use it to kind of pull herself down into the ground, into the foundations, she'll do that instead.
Yeah. Okay. I think the wall is faster. But you can kind of do both, like have the wall and a divot forming kind of at the same time. That is a great geomorph. As the wall comes up, you hear the them firing off, and the porcelain holds. You hear like ding, 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 as it reflects off and takes great gouges out of it, but it holds.
This is Aisuna just mutters under her breath as she realizes that the porcelain is a better shield than anything else she could have done. She's like, "This is so humiliating."
And as she sinks into the ground, like getting low into that, like the stage around her, she would feel her Enclave badge ping as soon as the entity touches Joseph's hand, and the entity would feel Lani's badge ping too.
All that Aisuna was hoping for is like she's just doing all this costume. Is like, I'm real hoping Lani's gonna fix this by the time I'm about to die.
And as she feels it, final actions from Aisuna.
Man, I mean, I think Aisuna feels so guilty. Well, not so guilty. Aisuna feels a little guilty about abandoning the people here, getting some of them stuck. But she also is like, probably at this point, if this becomes enough of a problem, Enclave will be sent to stop this in general. Someone else will hire that. So she just kind of makes a mental note that's like, I'll just put in a request to be on that mission if it ever should come to pass. And she will sort of in that vein just try and like final push of the geomorph, dig the sword into the ground and leave like a scar in the porcelain.
Nice.
So that
cool.
even when she pings out, this place will remember her. And then she will essentially fully just collapse forward as she pinks.
And Lani, with the entity still in control. Final actions.
The entity's like, oh cool, Lani's done. Bet. Entity gives no fucks.
And on that note, we will end the mission. Whew. Nicely done.
Kick ass.
Wow.
Bobby, that was so cool.
Thank you.
Top to bottom, just like I mean, I will get into it in a minute, but just I absolutely loved all the descriptions, credible application of the focus words. That was really, really kick-ass.
I mean, you guys made it special. Seriously, like this was a really fun mission for me. Before we get into other stuff, questions about the plot of the mission or calls that I made?
Just curious, any reason for Joseph in particular, or was it just that he had someone who was able to hire Enclave?
Excellent question. The answer is literally because he had someone who was able to hire the Enclave and figured out kind of what happened. Because as you might imagine, a dude doesn't get sucked into a strange demonic parallel dimension by accident. You know what I mean? Like there was backstory to it that someone who loved him very much worked very hard to get to.
I was surprised he was in the first pot we went to without a luck pitch.
Well, first of all, he was not actually in the first pot that you both went to as a group. There were other pots that were slightly relevant before then. It was the first pot that Lani went to, and that was for two reasons. One of them was Lani does have 2 pluses to luck, and I took the way that you were playing into her madness as an implicit luck pitch. That was one.
Right.
But also because she has triple plus to spirit. And had been kind of like, again, leaning into the madness, embracing that fully. I was like, oh, Xela's doing such a good job with this. I need to like reward her in some way.
That was such a fun character play.
Yeah. But you may notice that, like, for example, when Aisuna like smashed that one by accident, that wasn't the right one. And so there were like misdirections at a couple points. But yeah, you make a great point, and it was like a call on my part that I was like, oh, Xela's doing such a cool thing. It would suck if she didn't get anything out of it. You know what I mean? Because it would be very rude to do all that work.
You spent 80% of the mission attached to that one pot. So
yeah, I'd be kind of a douche. Like if I had been deliberately trying to do a harder mission, or I had given you like hints or cues leading into it, I could be mean in that regard. But for this one, no.
Man, that wasn't a hard mission. That felt hard to me.
I mean, I was surprised given the difficulty of the last Conduit Day mission I did.
Yeah. I typically, with veterans, I try to make them harder.
Of course. Yeah. I loved it.
And especially because Jonas, I haven't hosted for you in a little while, and I was like, I've heard such good things about Jonas. I'm going to test and see how they do with this one. Now, for focus words, Technicolor Lace. God, where to even start? This was like all of the aesthetic of the mission. I thought doilies, and then I thought, wow, Technicolor makes me feel like weird and trippy and metaphysical. And it actually tied into a bit of world building I'd done fucking years ago that I was like, oh, let's dive deeper into that. It was only kind of a thread at the time. Also, this is like a weird slang term my dad taught me. Have you ever heard the term Technicolor yawn refer to vomiting?
No,
but that's hilarious.
That is actually a term, and so that's when I was like, oh, they're being force-fed. And it's because it's vomiting, right? It was pertaining to that.
That's great. That's a great pull.
And then trauma for Lani. Mission success on my part. Like this. I just wanted to make an environment that was so awful for Lani in every possible way she couldn't leave the mission without trauma, and it happened. Like,
was great.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Well, I don't get to play live right now.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, that is how I used the focus words on this one. In terms of your characters, first of all, Lani, Xela, this was like literally your best Lani mission you've ever done with me. Like,
yeah,
great fundamentals. The sheer way that you did her madness play was so compelling and gave me so many opportunities to help you, and then you also paid off on it in certain ways. The reverse Insidious Whispers thing was sick, and then you were like, oh yeah, of course I'm corrupted. Why, of course Robbie would give me that. That makes total sense. The Fill the Void was smart. The way that you staged Lani's entity in a negotiation standpoint through Embrace Darkness is something I probably would never have allowed without all of the work you put into it.
It was really cool.
Great theming. Just the character felt so believably driven mad in such a perfect way that I was like, wow, just staggeringly good. And then you had all the beautiful energy work of her singing and her humming. She was focused on her activities. The cleaning actually ended up being quite relevant because, as you may know, being at the table meant that you were blinded to everything else going on when something bad happened. And
Lani was not going to make friends with dead people.
But here's the thing, being at the table was actually, as you guys saw, like quite important for many parts of the mission. And so I was kind of planning of like, one of you would kind of have to be there for some part of it. So Lani obviously did fantastically. Jonas, I fucking love Aisuna. Great character. And when she was like, I don't know why I'm here, to be honest, I was like, good, I didn't think you would. But I think by the end you figured it out. Besides all the ceramic there, your backstory, and her being like, oh yeah, I've seen like horrific shit before. That was kind of how on the first mission I hosted for Aisuna, I saw her and I was like, she's perfect for this because she won't get traumatized while Lani will. And so she was able to be kind of the foil to Lani. As well as being able to use her strength and try to do some social stuff. I was like, I kind of wanted to see what she would do in a social situation, which wasn't like...
She's been on a lot of social missions for some reason.
And as you saw, like the social wasn't actually like that important on this mission. It was mostly a way to get info. You did great info gathering. You got the safety goggles in the end. I was like, oh, I want to give a safety goggles mission. That was great. Your circling stone play was awesome. I loved your
always
dynamic
forgetting
combat.
my gear.
No, of course, it's just how it goes. And the fact that she was like, oh, these guys aren't a threat. It's like, oh my god, they are a threat. Like, the completely in character, great commitment to character knowledge, great puzzle solving. Awesome. I loved this mission for Aisuna. I mean, I've only hosted for her twice, but this is by far my favorite that I've hosted. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I did think it was funny.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting a knock at the door. One quick moment, Joe.
I don't know.
Thank you, darling. Just me. Goodness gracious. I got cake. Thank you, love.
Hey!
Right, I'll eat that afterwards. I gotta keep gushing about Aisuna. So yeah, great character. The rounded stat build is super fun to design around. The will was relevant. The resilience was relevant. You've got the geomorph play at the table. Oh my god, the fact that you were like, oh yeah, I'm going to cause a distraction. Mwah. I was like, that is exactly why I put Aisuna on this mission, was doing shit like that. And then at the end, just smashing everything up. Perfect timing. It enabled Lani's negotiation. That would not have worked without having leverage over the Mater D.
That was my hope. Exactly. I mean, thank you so much for the kind words. I like Aisuna a lot. She's a lot of fun. I wanted to play a different character because you ran for her last time, and I just was like, but got all these fun new perks, and she's developed a bit. I think it'll be fun.
I'm so glad.
It's also, I also thought it was funny. On that mission, there was also a Thane there, but it was Aisuna was also partnered with another vessel. Yep. So that was a bit of an amusing thing. Yeah, it was kick-ass. I really enjoyed specifically the ceramic thing. Like, of course, with the lithomancer, it takes a lot of like conduit, putting a lot of stone in, and so when we poured it in, and you said everything was porcelain. I was like, okay, with some conduit who like isn't as used to kind of adapting or like allowing energy work stuff, like I might have expected that wouldn't work or be a lot less effective. But when I did that first tremor sense I kept it light because I just wanted to see like, can this work at all? And you were like, oh yeah, actually it makes it crazy bit, like it amplifies it way much. I was like, okay, I get the vibe. Of course, Robbie would know how to adapt this to a lithomancer. So yeah, that was, I really enjoyed, I mean, her, as she expressed, like she's big on smashing and being forced to be gentle about the lithomancy with like the cutting and like the tapping, just all these little things. It was super, super fun to work around.
And then smash. Like
and then smash. We did get some smashing. I wasn't expecting. I was at the start of the mission, I was like, my instinct as a narrative person, like as a writer, I was like, oh, and then this is gonna end with us like getting all up in the demoness's face and talking about how, like showing her how everything she's doing is actually impolite. And I was like, you know what? Hold on. This is Enclave. We don't tend to solve big problems like that if that's not the mission goal.
Quite.
So
Yep.
I had to rein myself in that way and be like, okay, how do we solve targeted problems? Which was also
marvelous. Yeah, because I presented you guys with a lot of threads that you could pull at, and you did a great job of like keeping focus and also being able to pull at adjacent threads that help serve the main one. Even things like becoming friendly with the little brush and then it dying. Thank you. I'm so used to it. Well, two L's. With Lani becoming friends with a little brush and then it dying and then her using it as polish. It was just
adorable.
like very, very neatly tied in and served the grander goal. Something that I was really pleased with about...
It also gave her a teeny tiny defiance.
Yes, exactly. Like there was a lot of like subtle adds.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a defiance, but like the little grounding when it sent saying that.
And like you play very implicitly, Xela, and I'm very used to the way that you play, and so like it's the sort of thing that I'm used to dancing with you in these. You know what I mean? And the thing that I'm so glad about, Jonas, is not only have, from everything I've heard and the fact that you've now have a mission on the channel and everything, you've become such a good conduit like so fast, but you are so easy to conduit for in the best possible way. Like you make it so easy.
That's great. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, I'm a forever GM with my usual groups. I usually prefer being a GM.
Same.
For various reasons. And and I love conduiting Enclave because it's all just improv, and I'm pretty good at that. But there is something about Enclave where I actually tend to prefer being a player. And I don't really know why that is, but it's always so I try to be, of course, the player that I would want to have. So I'm glad to hear that.
Totally. You do brilliantly. And along those lines, thank you both again for hosting during the last Enclave Day. You put in some real serious work, and the results are there. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Super fun.
Any final notes before we sign off?
I did have a question, but I lost it. Do we need a mission name?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we do need one of those.
Listen, I always forget the process. I'm always asking my players, hey, tell me if I missed something.
No problem. Yeah, you're doing great. I had an idea for a mission name, but we totally don't have to do it. I thought of it halfway through.
I want to know.
What you got?
I'm a little teapot because of Lani's crazy muttering.
Okay. I had two thoughts, and I do think that is actually better than both of them. My first thought was manners maketh madness.
Oh, that's a good one too.
And second one was much simpler, crack the facade.
That's also
I think
manners maketh madness might be better. I
genuinely
better.
I think it is better.
I genuinely think I'm a little teapot is more relevant, but I'd also love a good pun.
It's like funnier, right? But I think that manners maketh madness is like more serious. It like conveys the gravitas of the mission. So I think we should do that one. I like that a lot.
Oh, it's so fun to get to play Lani being crazy, because her crazy is usually like shrouded weirdly.
Oh yeah. Also,
one thing I wasn't.
Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we also kept that one under 2.5 hours, which is a very nice place.
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, nice.
I really love a good mission. I think keep it tight, keep it focused. Ideal. I especially I liked for that reason as well. You were like, no, it's one room, no doors, not even that big a room. It's one room.
Bingo. Yep.
I was just gonna say as a last thought. I also want to just note from my experience with Enclave, I've been playing for a couple of years now, on and off, not nearly as regularly as some of the other folks in the server, but it's a great back pocket game. And one thing when I was introduced to the game that I wasn't sure about, I was like, okay, so everything happens through Enclave and through Manifold in all these different places, and you rarely go to the same place twice. Like, how do you have a consistent character and character development like that? And you're the party isn't even the same. And having all these different types of missions with Aisuna and seeing different types of fellow agents has been big on the way that I've been changing how she plays and how she sees things. And I found that process really fascinating and rewarding to engage with because I have to figure out for myself what changes between missions, and uh, every
Did
little
I
mission
run?
like this kind of helps.
That's awesome.
Did I run your first mission? You said.
Yeah, you that was the attic tiger. That was Ashuna's not my first mission, but that was Ashuna's first mission. Um,
Okay, I was
my,
so confused.
no. My first mission was years and years ago with a character I haven't played since. But that was Ashuna's first mission, so this is a fun little circle for that.
Totally. That's sick. In that case, the only other thing I wanted to say is something that I try to do for myself as like a challenge that I think is kind of fun is I've been trying to make missions where I can I can explain something like the setting in 2 words or like a short phrase. And for this one, I feel like this is an example of a mission that had from my perspective a very concisely original setting. And having done this for quite a while, this is a rare example of a mission I've never quite done something like before, and it was very, very satisfying. It's rare I get to like tick a box like that these days, so I had a good time with
That's kick-ass.
it.
Yeah, I mean, just
Beauty and the Beast body horror.
Yeah.
just top to bottom. I said at the start, but like, yeah, the descriptions were so kick-ass here. All the porcelain stuff, the guards, the champagne pop bottles, really fun. The fan lady, the broom beast, like I just every little thing you describe, and like also, like it started out very like lightweight, like Beauty and the Beast, and then as soon as I took a bite, and you were like, "It's screaming," by the way, and I was like, "Okay, twist the expectation here a little bit." Like, yeah, really enjoyed the setting on this one. It was really really cool and unique.
Awesome.
I think I'm too used to you doing live because I immediately was like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, in that case, I say we do our sign-offs. Thank you guys again for playing. Thank you again for hosting. And in the same order we signed on, Jonas then Xela, if you want to do a quick goodbye, then we'll round it off.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jonas Tindenzer. I've been Aisuna. Thank you for watching. It's been a great time.
I'm Xela. This was Lani. Yeah, she's fun. She's getting to a place where I really vibe with her. But yeah, have a great night.
And as always, my name is Robbie Howell. Thank you so much for watching, and ciao for now.